Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Sunfall Cycle.
Oh my God.
No. Jesse, I'm glad we have so much in common.
You and I come from the same cloth, let me tell you.
It's good to know that
Jesse, you
someone
left
I
your
know.
own stream on, so now it's echoing.
Oh, the echo.
What do you mean I left my own stream on?
It was echoing.
Maybe Eric left the stream on.
Yeah, what are you talking
Am
about?
I echoing?
No, there's no echo here. Eric, this is the voice in your head.
You said, "Oh shit, we saw it."
Yeah, Eric, if you don't want to talk, I can just like mouth you. All right, wait, that doesn't sound. I'm just gonna mouth you, Eric. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
All right.
And then immediately leave.
I mean, not really my type, but I can. As long as you don't make me breakfast.
After I was done, I'd be
Or
your
put
type.
on a playlist for me. I think it'd be okay.
I'm just blown away by how
I wanna
interesting
fly
my
away.
friends are. Like, I'm not even like I hope my face doesn't belay judgment because it isn't. It's more
It
just
doesn't.
like I'm just like
Fascination.
fascinated.
You know what?
Yeah, like I'm like because it's like you guys should write a book. Seriously, because this is like a book I would read. It's like High Fidelity except grittier. And I didn't think people's lives were like that. I was like, no, that people make that shit up when they write those books about. I'm like, nah, this is all made up. These people made it up. And then I hear Jesse and Britt's stories, and I'm like, it's like an 80s movie. Like your lives are like an 80s movie, and that's a compliment. I'm like, I would watch the Netflix series or like, but you have to narrate the whole thing.
No,
You know?
no.
It's
Yeah, you have to
We can do
narrate
it, but
the
was it
whole
buddy
thing.
comedy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's extremely hard to like actually understand America like right after 9/11 to like 2010. Like that fucking whole period of time is just weird, and everyone was just doing everything.
Yeah,
It's
not
a
like
strange
now,
era.
which
Not
is
like
very
now.
It's a strange
under.
era.
Yeah,
easy
now
to
Eric
it's
has
very
a
it's
story.
very in control now.
Eric
But-
has a story.
If you want to know, if you want to know
Oh,
what the year
It's the music.
2000 to 2010, like what that decade was like, just go look at the
Yeah.
movies. Go look at what movies were popular and what music was popular, and just be like,
Yeah, that's what
keep
I'm saying.
rolling. You'll be like, what the fuck were we?
yeah, that's what
thinking?
I'm saying.
It was a weird period. Yeah.
Yeah, fucking. It was the years of like fucking like what's his name? You're beautiful guy. You're beautiful.
Beautiful
guy.
mind.
You're beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
What they
James Blunt,
say.
right?
And
Yeah.
Limp Bizkit. Like it's just a weird time.
Oh,
All right.
and he recently freaking posted a tweet that we be burning, not concerning. Sean Paul.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Do you remember when that was a
Paul.
thing?
Yeah.
Temperature, dude. I remember temperature.
Yeah.
I used to do
Shelter
my
you from
crunches
the
to
storm.
temperature because I had a really good beat. I was working out.
Is Nelly good? Is Nelly canceled? Nelly good?
I don't
Is
know.
Nelly still good? I mean,
I
he
can
only
only
got
think
that
of
cut.
Nelly Furtado now.
look,
Oh, that's right. There was another Nelly.
There is a Nelly.
I've been scarred. I've been fucking.
What were they called? The
scarred.
Lunatics?
All right.
That was the
No, the
creepy
thong
version?
song was like 1997.
Yeah, the thong song was
Oh.
in the 90s.
Yeah,
Because that was
like
that came out
Final
before
Fantasy
Wild Wild
VII
West, which
OG.
was 98, 99. So, wicka wow, wow, wow. That song slaps. That song is a genius song.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Eric.
Yeah.
Do you know all the
Weird
lyrics
music
to the
back
No,
then.
Wild
I
West?
only know the first
Right.
6 stanzas.
Wild
Wild West?
I'm not that.
The Wild Wild
West.
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 Yeah, it's a great song. That's a
So
great
that
ass song.
was okay, but
Ah.
that was an era when whether a movie did well or did poorly was completely based off of whether it had a hit track associated with it.
Absolutely.
Even
absolutely.
like Men in Black, like every single
Just bounce
film
with me and bounce.
Oh my
with
god,
Yeah.
that was such a
Bounce
good
with me.
video. I used
Yeah.
to know the dance to that song.
with like
Yeah,
the
man.
bad
Slide.
CGI alien.
Slide.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I tell you, because that music video came out before Men in Black the movie,
No.
I thought the alien was like, I thought that was the alien's voice, but in the movie it's like, I was like, oh,
Right.
this sucks. I was
Good
so
point.
disappointed.
Disappoint.
Getting Jiggy with It
This
was
is-
one of like my favorite
Oh my
albums.
God.
I know all the words. Like I had all the phone calls, like the interstitials on that album memorized. Like I listened to it all the time.
Will
This
Smith
was
could do
good.
no wrong. That was a great. That
The
was a.
first Eminem album dropped. That was a
Oh my
yeah, no, this is an
God.
interesting period of time.
Yeah.
Oh,
This is
There was
ancient
a-
On
history for the
MTV.
Zoomers.
Yeah.
So
there was an era where we kind of just listened to music where people talked, like Sunscreen. and gave good advice.
Yeah.
On your graduation day, vitamin C. Fuck me.
Oh yeah, vitamin C.
I think that was
Songs?
my graduating year's anthem. To be honest with you.
It was everyone's thing. Yeah,
Yes!
I think it was everybody's.
Yeah.
Please wear sunscreen.
Or
Yes!
Time of Your
Oh
Life,
my God.
or the Green Day song.
All right.
Oh,
friends.
and Euro music was like the over.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
even know how to describe. Like Aqua was unironically Venga Boys. Unironically,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
The
The,
bus.
the charts.
the
like,
Dota
my
song. Does
God.
everyone remember the Dota
Yeah.
song?
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to
Yeah.
get real fucked up,
That creep. Then what's
go look up.
You guys, this is my
Of course.
favorite group of humans.
Literally, stop what you're doing. Everyone, just cut it out your life. Go look up the Dota video. It's crazy. It literally is like dudes on computers, and then beautiful women just laying at their feet, like watching them. Like,
Dude,
Yeah.
it's just so. Last night I was talking
Hilarious.
to someone and we watched that video last night.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Really?
so
Yeah.
crazy.
Oh, awesome.
It is.
Yeah,
it is
Base
crazy.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Base Hunter.
Base Hunter.
That's their name. Yeah.
I
Oh
will
my
always
God.
love
This-
that type of music.
And-
It'll
I loved all the
never die.
like really funny like girl power stuff that came like it was like post Spice Girls, or it's like Survivor and like Beyonce and Michelle and Kelly like in these like camo like push-up bras and like I'm a survivor, like feminism.
Yeah, that's such a good point though, because it was unironic at that point.
No,
Oh,
like-
Britney
yeah.
Spears was like,
We're for
I'm a
real.
virgin,
Yeah.
but I'm a slut. I'm commercial.
Oh,
Like,
that just
it was
reminded me
so
of
crazy.
That was my
the
favorite
latest
Britney.
Tomb Raider movie. Like, believe it or not, chat, there was a time in our lives where movie like trailers didn't use deconstructed pop songs in like a dramatic way for everything.
Or that.
Right.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
that was
Inception
insane.
There was a
started
time
that.
before
and
that
they did
sound.
both, and they combined it, right?
Mhm.
Where you're like,
Whoa.
I'm thinking of the San Andreas movie with The Rock, where it's like California
Oh,
Dreamin's
yeah.
all like sad, and it's like, you know,
My favorite-
these guys are
my favorite movie trailers were
Wow.
always my favorite movie trailers were always
guys are great.
the like
All the
what
time.
is that? What is happening?
The fucking trailer to San Andreas.
And those
Jesse.
guys-
You don't live there.
He's not wrong.
There was
No,
a time before that.
The best movie trailers were the early 2000 ones for like romantic teen comedies, because like,
Oh yeah.
because they have the voiceover to be like,
Yep.
Phil was a high school student who couldn't, like, get what he wanted, and Janine,
Until graduation night.
right? And then it's like,
It's graduation night, I still haven't got what I wanted.
and then it'd be like,
Seth Green starring in every teen comedy from 1998 to 2003.
and then it'd be like, we've got to get laid before the end of senior year. Yeah.
I missed
That's
it.
Jennifer
Superbad.
Hewitt wears a skirt
Yeah.
and a spaghetti strap top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super
Like, she's-
Bad is the what's the fucking Wolverine, the latest Wolverine movie? It's like that version of those movies.
Logan.
Logan. Yeah, like Super Bad is the Logan of those movies. Where
It's
it's
the
like the
last good one?
deconstructed, yeah, like
Oh.
the deconstructed,
yeah, okay.
like deep lore of
Oh
it
my
all.
god.
The deep
Dude, where's my
lore of-
car?
Yeah, like Super
Remember
Bad is
Dude,
like
Where's
this
My
is the
Car?
tone. Yeah.
And
Oh
Dan.
my god, dude, where's
Yeah.
my
The
car?
first scary
Euro
movie.
Trip?
No
Euro
and Dan.
Trip? Yes.
We
No?
did not
Euro
have
Trip?
good movies. Yeah, I remember watching
All right,
Euro
okay,
Trip.
okay. We got to bring back Super Troopers.
Yo,
And,
They tried. They
uh,
tried.
Hours in the
It was a
Lips.
different time.
Meow.
They tried. It was a different time.
Yeah. What else?
Sorry.
Right, meow.
Everybody gets all hyped up when they were drinking their maple syrup. I do.
God, those maple syrup scenes.
Yo.
Did you
Hours
guys
in the
actually
Lips.
try to chug maple syrup?
You know that they actually
I did.
did, right?
I
Yeah,
did
'cause
for
I
a
did. I
stream.
for sure did that one.
Yeah.
Myself
I did
and
it like
Irene.
last month.
Oh
I'm,
my
I'm
god.
not even
Very
kidding.
well.
It was pure maple syrup from Canada.
Oh,
And,
see, that's that good shit. You probably were
I
filming
mean,
on
It
air.
was like I probably still have it here. And every time I was like, "Fuck it, people be out here selling out. I'll fucking do it." And chat's like, "Yeah, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna sell out? How are you gonna do it?" I was like, "Fine. Every fucking 20 subs, I'll take a shot of maple syrup. I'll fucking finish the whole
Yeah.
bottle."
Oh.
And they did it. They're like, "Fine, here's 20 subs." I was like, "Shot. Do another one. Do it again, pussies. You won't." And it was pretty good. Yeah. When I sell
I
out,
like
chug
this,
maple
like,
syrup.
this aggro.
That's a good way to
angry
sell out.
bronze.
You should
Like,
get
pussies.
You should get
I'll
like
drink this shit.
Oh, dude, Bronze
Love it.
could literally like do an OnlyFans where she just yells at people and you
I
would make a lot
That'd
of
be
money.
the first person to
Would
get me
make a lot
to
of money.
subscribe to an OnlyFans. I'd show up for that. I'd be like, "Yell at me, queen!"
Yeah.
I'd have a whole,
Like, that
I'd
is-
be there. I'd be there for that.
Bronze is
That is
like
already
absolute
Bronze's
step on
Twitter
me.
profile.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
you are like right there.
I'd be like, yeah, she's doing it, guys.
100% straight for the humiliation, expose, like, read for filth.
Go through all of her clips on Twitch. They're all just the greatest hits.
Yeah, greatest hits.
You need to lock that shit down to subscribers only.
That's right. Yeah. What's up? That's why you had 20 subs to gain for shots of maple syrup.
Friends, we could do a joint one where you yell at them and then I make them feel better.
Give them affirmations.
We got
oh my god, good cop, bad cop.
Comfort them afterwards, make them sure they're okay.
Oh my god.
Good cop, naughty. Good cop, naughty cop is what it should be.
Naughty. No. I just want to interject here that this conversation about media from like a decade and or maybe 20 years ago is officially our version of like back in my day.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Whoa. Not yet.
We are now old.
Not yet. We've still got a few years before it's like, remember if right now you're like, hey, remember the
when Good
Dead
Charlotte's
Poet
on
Society,
the then
you're gone. You're
yeah,
done.
Sorry. I think we're already there. We're already like,
I do too. I mean, there's a lot of songs in the grocery store that I know.
Do you remember Weezer?
Oh my god, Weezer.
Yeah, Weezer's gonna go on the classic rock for sure.
I forgot about Good Charlotte and like Taking Back Sunday and all of those bands. Hawthorne Heights.
Incubus.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is the shit.
Oh my god,
so
we
good,
don't
though.
know.
I stand Incubus.
I forgot
That
about
dude's an amazing singer.
Didn't Incubus do that song Drive?
Yeah.
Yes.
I just laughed because I just like I haven't thought about that
Incubus.
song in so long, and then suddenly you're like Incubus, and all I could hear was like sometimes of uncertainty being clear.
Yeah, I had to look it up. The album was Make Yourself. When I listened to that shit, oh my god, all throughout fucking high school.
Really?
Yeah, no, I was obsessed with this one. Okay, I don't even remember the name of the game anymore. It wasn't StarCraft or anything like that. But it was like before mobile games were mobile games online, where you would play a real-time strategy game, but it like a building on a factory on a planet would take literally a whole day to build. So you would just
are you talking about those games where like on the side of the screen there'd be like a sexy woman who's like, "Take my castle, my lord." Is that
my lord?
Those
no,
games?
I wish.
Ebony? No, this was
Ebony, yes.
Ebony era. Yeah.
This was definitely Ebony, but Space Ebony.
Game. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Space
no,
Ebony.
when I was working for Funcom back in like 2007, 2008, everybody in Funcom's QA department would have like that game up on like a
oh my god, who was
screen.
I'm angry that you typed that in chat, Brownie. I'm actually mad.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is great.
This is Brownie. Everybody. Bringing back the classics.
No, Hootie on the Blowfish. Shut up. Stop typing.
I don't want to be with you.
God. Oh my god. So many Dave Matthews bands.
I have a theory, and I just need to know if you guys agree.
What?
Do you remember the intro to Pete and Pete? Is that not the 90s distilled?
Oh my god.
Like the music, the way the trailer doesn't make any sense. Like it's the opening of the show, and
I think I get that mixed up with the intro to All That.
No, All That had the song. This is all that, right?
Yeah.
All that. And it had like, let's see, because Pete and Pete was.
Yeah, I probably pulled the music.
I don't remember it.
Yo.
It was more like
it was very 90s. Pace. Here we go. I think I got it.
Yeah, it was like more fast paced. Yeah.
It was like mom has like a plate in his head and everything. Yeah, in her head. Sorry.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, Salute Your Shorts was so good.
Oh my god, guys.
And Dude Ranch.
This is 90s. It was like, and everyone's
or
wearing
no, it was
flannel.
Hey Dude.
So good.
Oh my god.
You guys remember Sandlot?
This is such an old person conversation, and I love it.
I know, we should probably
I love you all.
Really.
Talking more about this later.
Little Rascals holds up. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
What
Don't want to play some Dungeons and Dragons?
Little
Rascals. Know about the Little
that
Rascals
alfalfa sure holds up.
It holds up. That's all I'm gonna say. Wait, you don't agree?
What was that, Grandma? What?
You don't think Little Rascals holds up?
Here's the thing. I assume you're talking about the movie, but I know you're talking about the black and white TV show.
What? Black and white? What, Jesse?
I know you're talking about
There
like
was
the
old
TV show. Yeah, I know that's what you're talking about, Bronze. I know every one people think you're talking about the movie, but you're definitely talking about the old like, gee whiz, alfalfa.
Oh my, that's what that was. Yeah, with the boxcar racing or something.
Yes.
No, I was talking about
wait, let's go. Yes.
I'm not that old. When I get that old, I'll start talking about the Munsters.
I watched every episode of that over and over again on Nick at Night. I love Nick at Night so much.
Nick at Night was the business.
Oh.
And I Dream of Jeannie was on there, and I always felt like, oh, somebody catches me watching this, I would get in trouble.
Right.
So there's nothing
Really?
wrong with it.
I watched that and Bewitched, all of those.
She was just so hot.
I Dream of Jeannie was hot. Agreed.
Yeah, so I was like, oh.
Who was that actress? Barbara. It was Barbara something, right?
You know? I never seen anybody like that on TV.
Barbara Eden? I think that was Barbara Eden.
We're just getting roasted in chat. It's
We
so funny.
are getting roasted. It's amazing.
It's not. It was Barbara Eden.
This is what all your parents are going to sound like. By the way, chat, all your parents, when you have to put them in a home, this is, remember back in my day, Lincoln Park.
No.
What a great band. They had that one song.
Doesn't even matter.
Horror of this conversation, the true Lovecraftian horror of this conversation is that this is not what your parents will sound like. This is what you will sound like.
Yeah.
Well, this is what everyone's going to sound like. Just replace it with whatever you think is like
it's gonna
the
be like,
thing.
oh, do you guys remember fidget spinners? Oh my god!
I
TikTok and
submit
Vines.
for approval
While
to
we're
the Midnight
fucking-
Society.
Oh my God! While
What
we're
Steven
back
just
in, oh
said.
my God, yes. But then we're also in our home, and somehow Blizzard has re-released WoW Classic, and we're all doing
Yes,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
50 years later.
Yeah.
Bum, 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 bum,
Except
bum.
it's not going to be WoW Classic. It's going to be Fortnite. Oh my God, Fortnite! Do y'all remember
Fortnite Classic.
Oh, do you remember when they had that concert in Fortnite? Were you there? Oh yes, I was flying.
I
through the
can't
air.
wait till there's a retirement home where they're like blasting Despacito. Like a bunch of old people just like, this was my jam back in the day. Come grind on me, Suzanne.
No, it's gonna be apple bottom jeans. Boots with
Apple
fur.
bottom jeans.
Yeah, that's our
Yeah.
era. Apple bottom
Yeah,
jeans
that's
is
our
ours.
era. That's when we were throwing ass. We were
Our
like,
anthem.
and cyclone. Move your
I've
body
never
like a
heard that before.
cyclone
That's
from the
pretty
windows.
good.
Throwing
Yeah, that would have been our. We were,
Really liked Cycle. Like, remember the helicopter
We were
song
slinging
too?
butts.
yeah, we really were.
They really liked doing like waving things around and slamming things against walls and stuff.
The simpler
Wait,
era.
wait, spin it like a North Carolina.
Yeah, where it's
Come
like,
on, raise
yeah.
up. Take your shirt off and whip it around your head.
Throw
Spin
it
it
like
like
a
a helicopter.
helicopter.
I know that song because I'm from North Carolina.
And they're like from the window to the wall. They're like walls, helicopters, spin things, throw it.
Yes.
Pop
Like that's
it.
not dangerous
Jump
at all.
it.
Yeah, that sounds like a dangerous song. I don't know that
in a
I
close space.
approve.
Maximum.
There's a lot of instructions, like put your hands up, wave your hands in the air, get down,
Yes.
get down, like get your
Slide
booty to
to
the
the
ground.
left.
Yeah, it's a lot of like
Slide to the
just
right.
instructional singing.
Yeah.
Well, they had to make it for
Too
white
hot.
people. So.
That's true. They did.
I feel like everybody always wanted to have the next viral dance after Macarena, and there was like the tomato song where they tried
Nope.
to do their little tomato bit, and it was like, no,
You know,
That
I think I've
pass.
realized what the generational divide is between
Ultimate Showdown of
millennials,
Ultimate Destiny. I completely agree.
millennials, and whatever the hell I guess is after millennials,
Gen Z.
Gen
Zoomers.
Z.
Yeah.
The generational divide, Cotton Eye Joe.
The best
either know it or you don't.
song of all of them except for Casey and JoJo.
Cotton Eye Joe. That's Yes, either you love it or you're like, I don't know what that is.
What about Sugar Ray?
Oh yeah. Something about a bedpost.
Or post bed.
Or post bed. There it is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Ironically listen.
That was the time of unironic frosted tips.
Yes.
Oh
Can
my
I- oh my God.
We were
Can I-
so cool.
Can I tell you one of my
We were so cool with our sun in. We put shit in our hair so it would bleach in the sun because we didn't actually bleach our hair and wear puka shell necklaces.
I need you to understand.
Oh yeah,
one of my
everyone had
best
hemp or
friends.
puka shell necklaces. Yeah.
One
that
of
was
my
the other
best
thing.
friends
Wow.
tipped frosted tipped his hair, and then because he saw in a movie would always wear his sunglasses back, and I quote,
Yes.
because that's how snipers wear it, and to this day still does that. He lives in Ohio.
That's how snipers.
Hi. I haven't actually seen him. I've only seen him on the internet. I haven't
Wait,
seen
are
him
you
in
talking
maybe
about when
10
they put
years.
their sunglasses like this?
Yeah, when
he
your
would-
sunglasses
yes,
are backwards on the
he'd
back
have
of your head.
Ray-Bans and he'd
Oh,
put them on
yeah.
backwards and he'd be like, because that's how snipers wear them. And I'm like,
That's a Midwestern man situation going on there.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I can say that because I'm from there and I've seen them. It's true.
Yeah.
I don't understand that though. It's like, oh my God, the sun.
Here's the thing though. He also works at like a carnival, and like he had it all figured out. He's my dude. Like he is about as Midwestern. I come from
that's
the
like
Midwest.
the real redneck is when there's
He's
a
living the dream.
sunglass tan line on the back. Like
Yeah. But just for the record, one more time. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. What? It's one of the best songs ever written, ever. Period. Hands down. Those lyrics stand up. They stand up to the test of time. Keep rolling, y'all. Keep rolling.
Wait, you mean all of
I
them?
gotta clipping that. I'm clipping that and putting that on the soundboard. Thank you.
I need to. What are the rest of these lyrics?
I think those
All
are
right,
the lyrics.
partner, keep on rolling, baby.
Rolling,
you know what
rolling,
time
rolling.
it is. Throw your hands up, ladies and gentlemen. Chocolate starfish, keep on rolling, baby. Move in. Now move out. Hands up. Now hands down. Back up. Back up. Tell me what you're going to do now. Hands
These
up.
lyrics.
Now hands down.
Stand
Back
up.
Back up. Tell me what you're going to do now. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. That's what I'm seeing here.
Every time I play any Dark Souls game, that is in my head constantly. Just keep rolling, rolling. That's all I think about the entire time.
Oh my God. I
song.
never want to be inside your head.
Song is in there permanently. I don't know any of the lyrics, but I do know that if I'm ever in trouble, it's the keep on trucking of our time.
It kind of is. Look
Keep
at
rolling.
these. Yeah.
It keeps you going.
Hey, ladies. Hey, fellas. And the people who don't give a fuck. Wow.
Nice.
Very modern.
Ahead of its time.
I know. All the lovers, all the haters, and the people that call themselves players, hot mamas, pimp daddies. And
I
all
feel
the
like that's a
people
great
that
intro to
caddies,
like a talk. You'd be
rockers,
like,
hip hoppers.
instead of like ladies
And
and
everybody
gentlemen,
all
you'd be
Social
like,
justice warrior Fred Durst.
yeah.
Dude,
Hello,
he's a
lovers,
cool
haters,
guy.
and all the people
He's a
that call
real
themselves
artist.
players. Welcome to my TED Talk.
He's a nice man.
Uh,
Bronze met him.
Ron's is lost.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, yeah.
He's a nice guy.
I believe the exact way that interaction went is you're like, oh, that was Fred Durst, and I said, who's Fred Durst? And you and Zeke and everyone was like, and I was like,
never mind.
and then
Admittedly, he's
Zeke
no Kid
said,
Rock.
Limp Bizkit, and I was like, oh, like the people that did the Mission Impossible song, and Zeke almost killed me.
Zeke was really mad at you.
Zeke was like, the Mission Impossible song. Like, what
That
do you
sounds like Zeke.
I came to set on the pre show, but we didn't tell anyone he was there because he had sunglasses on, and he acted like the little like assistant to Carnage, who was the main host. So he was like just dusting him off and like brushing his hair, and he had headphones in and would just enter the set whenever he felt. I was like, do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it. So he just walk on set and like fuck with people and then walk away. And no one, like the crew, like the PA was like, is that guy supposed to be here? And do we buy him lunch? And I was like, yeah, get him whatever he wants. Just don't ask him any other questions. He just stayed on set with us all day and nobody knew. And he was just irritating people all day long and trolling. It was great.
I would have
That
instantly
sounds
been
amazing.
like, get that man a microphone. And then we would on the spot do keep rolling. I would do the music and everything, and I'd be like, keep rolling.
Dude.
He'd do it, and I'd be like, what? In the background. Oh my God, it'd be the best.
He wanted to keep it a secret who he was, that he was there.
It never would
I
happen.
literally
If I was there, it never would
watching.
happen. I'm in like,
Always humble.
Frederick.
He walked up next to me. It just like appeared there, and I looked over, and I was like, "Hello," and he was like, "Hey, what's up? Is this the show?" And I was like, "Yeah." You gonna be on it? And he was like, "Okay," and I was like, "All right, cool." I was like, "I
All
guess
right,
Fred's
okay.
here." Very professional set. Guys,
Kind
it's
of
a-
like
did the
this
Mission
one.
Impossible
Hello,
song.
everybody. Welcome to the Sunfall Cycle.
Speaking of which, we got to keep rolling, y'all.
Yeah, we gotta keep.
We got to
rolling.
keep it rolling.
It's 11, guys.
It is.
This
Do
is
y'all wanna
also
play
to
some
announce
D&D
our new name for Sunfall Cycle. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Is
Yeah.
the new name
Subtitle,
for our
keep rolling,
show.
roll.
If I had to
The,
make a
the-
D&D show, it'd be called Keep Rolling, 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 Rolling. What? Keep rolling, 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 rolling.
Starring Henry Rollins.
The trailer is like,
Josh Brolin, Henry Rollins.
Destroy my sweater.
No.
Oh my god. I know what I want to do this week with my free time. Okay.
What?
Like a trailer.
What?
I want to make a Sunfall Cycle
makes
trailer.
a trailer look a delicate rendition of the sweater song as the.
I think it should be a delicate rendition of the Dota song.
I'll do that for you, Bron.
I don't know the lyrics.
That's what you want. I'll do it.
Every time they say Dota.
Is it a hard event and I spill it Dota?
I don't like that you know, like, oh no, it has to be, Steven, it has to be way slower than that. It has to be like sad.
Yeah.
It has to have like only a violin in the background. Yeah. One lone violin.
LO 616, dramatic cover of Goofy's Can't Wake Up.
Yeah, can you slowly whisper sing Can't Wake Up in a Goofy voice and someone record that and send it to me?
Can you
see
through my eyes like open doors?
Here's the problem. If you do it as Goofy, though, it sounds like a country song. If you do it in Goofy's voice, can't wake up. It sounds like a country song. Wake me up.
Oh my god.
We have to do our game.
God damn it.
None of us are drunk. No one's been drinking.
No one's been drinking.
This
In the
is who
immortal
we are.
words
Wait a
of
minute.
Brock
Whoa.
This
I know one person who
stupid. Oh, never mind.
Steven drinks.
Very sober.
Well,
Oh man.
mostly. No, I don't think we could ever do a show if all of us were actually drunk.
Oh, we could. It wouldn't be this show.
Well, our
We could do a
careers would be
show.
over.
Yeah. It would be a show, all right.
Me and Britt have gotten drunk before. It'd be get canceled.
We Uber Eats ordered a bottle of tequila and a bag of cigarettes at like 2 o'clock in the morning
Awesome.
to this hotel.
You two go too fucking hard. You two are like,
So you can send him a photo and waiting for him to look out the window at us.
Oh my God, the
We have a
drunk
good
fall
time.
cycle.
Oh god.
What are we
We
doing? What
need to do a live show that's
last
the
week?
drunk fall cycle.
What's going on?
That would be amazing.
Oh my God.
nothing would we wouldn't get there in time.
No, we would just talk.
We would be
It'd be
backstage. They're waiting. We're like back there fucking drunk.
Can't wake up.
All right, kids, what happened last time on the Sunfall Cycle?
We made it back to the camp, the barricade camp.
Yeah, to talk to Iramat.
Mhm.
Yes. And you also traveled through the Darkling Mirror.
Yes, and it
Yes.
was like
First
a
time
weird
ever.
void
Which was
world.
weird. Yeah.
And they all touched a thing. I guess, and Kara actually touched a thing.
Arcane flux stuff.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
An
awesome.
arcane sphincter.
And it hurt her.
Arcane starfish.
It hurt her badly.
It hurt. It did hurt her badly. It cost her half of her hit points.
Yep.
Costs everyone or half.
Yeah,
Don't
everybody.
That's
touch
also true.
Space anuses. Fact. Don't do it.
Spanuses. So here you stand in front of Iramon the Grey Dwarf, gray skin, gray beard, gray hair. Where did we end last time?
I was gonna
She
say, wait,
like-
didn't we lose it? And then we went back to the moon, though, right? Because
No, you started last episode from the moon.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. And we
I
killed
need to
the
update
jailer.
my. You're right.
And then we
Well, the jailer someone through the mirror.
Yep.
yeah. And then I think
There we go.
Praetoria was like dinosaur.
Yes.
And
Yep.
then-
Yeah. We've still got an Allosaurus in the middle of the.
Right.
I stealthed, so Praetoria will never see me. I was like,
Yes.
Yeah. And I think where we ended, I was yelling at Iramon where I was like, you know way more than you let on. You're like the king's advisor. This is all your fucking architect.
Yeah.
And you sent us back in time and showed us all this shit and neglected to mention that you are the one who created the black barrier. You are withholding. I think that's where we ended, was me like yelling.
Berating.
J'accuse. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you notice that her upturned wagon is a little bit nicer now. Like there's actually like a rug on the carpet. There's like a pot of tea sitting on like a low contained stove in the back. It's like a tin can stove, right? It's not like like a stove. But she sighs and she looks at you and she says, "Yes, I suppose I owe you some answers."
You helped him do this. Everything that's been going on, you helped him.
She laughs. Right she says, helped him? I'm afraid you misunderstand the situation. No, Aya. I did this.
Well, that's even okay. So now we're just talking semantics. So you carried out his will. You did it. You killed the son.
Her eyebrows raise in surprise and she says, killed the son? No, unfortunately, that is a bigger problem. But yes, please have a seat. We have much to discuss.
I sit down, but I'm angry about it. No, I'm not drinking any of your tea. Last time I was in here, you sent us back in time. I'm not drinking anything you give me. It's probably got some drugs or shit in it.
Sarek like pops in like, I'll have some tea actually.
Wonderful. Take a seat. And then she pours you a teacup. Yep. And she says, yes, I am Iraman, called by some the Grey Dwarf, and I was King Astaphan's high court mage, subduer of the great worm Velzirathoth, and architect of the solar dome. What is it you want?
We know all that.
Why did you create? Yeah, exactly. We know. No thanks to you. Why would you create a dome that's making people crazy? The longer people stay in the dome, the more likelihood they have of their eyes turning to black pools and becoming soulless. Why would you do that? Why would you condemn people to that type of a fate? Obviously, you're buying yourself time. What are you buying yourself time for? Why do you keep reversing time?
She sighs heavily under your onslaught, and she says, first of all, I owe you an apology.
Oh, yeah. Minimum.
When you first came through here many cycles ago, I was stricken by grief. Not only that, but you were minuscule, the merest shadows of your current power. You knew nothing about the world and nothing about the people in it. But now that you have ventured forth, I think you understand more. Also, the time has given me a chance to reflect and to come to terms with my own complicity in the disaster that now faces us. Look around you. I think you can see that I am not here in the seat of my power, surrounded by my implements and spell books. No, I came here to escape all of that. I did create this phenomenon above our heads, and she gestures, and then she looks back at you, Aya, and she says, well, not literally above our heads. This is a wagon that I turned upside down. But in the sky, the dome that surrounds us, yes, I was the architect of the solar dome. It was my magic which created it. It was my doing and my curse. When I saw how wrong it went, I departed the palace in a self-imposed exile. The good people here, Rael and the others, agreed to take me in and give me shelter. It was supposed to be a modified form of the time stop spell, which perhaps you have heard of, ritualized and expanded, but something went wrong. This shadow touch curse that afflicts people's minds, it was never my intent. The intent was not to have a cyclical, inescapable cycle, but instead a pure bubble of stopped time within which to solve our problems. Something went wrong. I do not know what.
So you made a mistake.
That seems likely.
And how do you intend to fix it?
Yeah, why do we only have 32 cycle 32 something like that? Why do we only have so many cycles left? What happens after that?
Cycles left.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any limit. As far as I know, the spell is self-sustaining. It will continue to infinity. What do you mean? Why do you think there are only 32 cycles left?
Because there's a necro-celestial in a coliseum somewhere that literally said that they only had to wait 32 more cycles. What happens after cycle 32? What happens? Do we all die? Does the dome fall on our heads? Does it explode? What's going on?
She puts down her cup and she like gets up on her hands and knees and she leans forwards towards you and she says, describe this creature to me.
Okay, first of all, breath. But second of all, it was second of all, it was dark. It was winged.
Yes.
It had a fire chain.
She held the fire chain. It was crazy.
I did hold the fire chain.
It was pretty impressive.
Thank you. And it had glowing eyes. And its flesh, if I remember correctly, looked almost seared. And honestly, it was like I kind of obscured my vision of it a little bit because I did a thing to it.
She put tentacles all over its body.
It was kind of, a lot of it was covered. Yeah, but it was terrifying and it smelled disgusting. I do remember that. It smelled like putrefaction.
She turns to you, Sarek, and she says, tentacles. Does she mean the ravenous hunger of Hadar?
Oh, I don't know what it's called, but it was gross.
No, I mean the black tentacles that belong to Evard. But you're close. I do know how to summon Hadar's hunger as well.
Evard's midnight tentacles. I know it well.
Yeah. I see you are also a lady of class, just like me.
And also taste, yes. Mm-hmm. The necro-celestial, you called it. In the palace, I knew a woman. She was someone I did not get along with. Her name was Quintara. She's a wizard of some mighty renown. And such things were ever her particular area of interest.
Question, Stephen.
Yes, you, young man.
Totally out of character. Would this person, if I asked, the person who was in the middle of the bubble in the Coliseum, did that look like a person that would be like this?
You'd have to like describe what you saw and ask her about it.
The thing is, I personally don't remember.
I saw Quintara.
I don't remember like visually what she looked like. I just remember there was like a lady in the middle and she had like a pixelated swirl underneath her, a 2D swirl.
You're a smart guy. You can describe the woman that you saw, and you can describe her with enough accuracy that Iraman can maybe tell you yes, no, this is who this person is.
Yeah, Sark like jumps in and he mentions that he saw this woman casting in the middle of the Coliseum, where he then also saw another necro-celestial wandering around, right?
No, yes. Oh, you did?
Yeah, when I avoided him and snuck outside to the Coliseum proper, where I got murdered by, after I killed 4 dragons, I got murdered by a rogue one.
I thought they were wyverns.
No, they're actually dragons. Bigger and stronger.
It's funny how the count keeps going up every time you tell.
There was like 8 of them. I killed like 7.
What color were they?
They were all colors of the rainbow. There was like a gold one and like 2 black dragons, like a blue one, and like one that was like he was like a crystalline dragon, and it took a while, but I broke through his hardened exterior with my chiseled abs, and then there was like a lot. It was totally hard.
Are you done?
Then one got me, one ganked me, and like came up from behind and was like, "Gotcha!" And I wasn't prepared, and that's how I died.
So are you going to describe this woman to Iramon?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, yes, I very much do.
Yeah. She shakes her head and says, "This woman you described doesn't sound like Quintara, but clearly is one of her associates, perhaps Tasanth. Tell me the ritual you saw. Describe for me what you saw there."
Well, there was in the center of the Colosseum. There was a woman channeling something inside of a bubble that was protecting her, I assume. And underneath her was this sort of two-dimensional swirl-a-magic. And there was several wyverns flying around, and I managed to slay a few, but there was, one left. And there were keys. There were 3 keys. We don't really know what to do with those. And any advice would be lovely, actually.
Yes. You slew 4 wyverns, and there was a 2-dimensional swirly-majig on the ground. What color?
Golden. It was all golden.
By Coronet himself. Quintara is putting her plan into action. This must be... The timeline that you heard must be related to the plan that she is enacting.
And that plan would be?
Why? She is seeking to prove her theories of the resurrection of gods. More specifically, the necromantic resurrection of gods.
Which god?
Yes.
Good god?
Which
Bad
god?
god? There's a lot of different gods. We're talking like a god that, this guy's not so bad. Maybe he's the god of fertility. Are we talking about like god of rage, destruction, and
she
pillage?
stands up and she walks forwards to the curtain that encloses her tent, her wagon tent, and she draws it aside, and then she simply gestures, and immediately in view through the parted curtain of the tent is the glowing red orb of the sun hanging low in the sky. That god.
The sun god?
The sun? Isn't that good? Don't we want that resurrected? Probably not necrotically. Probably normally, right? Am I doing this right?
Her face calms a little bit, and she says, "Indeed, you can see why this could pose a problem."
Well then,
okay. But, and I pull from my bag the note on the resurrection of Celestials.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I hand it to Iramon.
Yeah, she pulls out a pair of under-rimmed glasses and perches them on her node.
Right here.
Perches them on her nose.
It says, what could create enough condensed spiritual energy to resurrect a god? We can figure out, do you know what that could be? Because if you do, we take away her battery, we take away all this.
Oh, yes. So, question, we've seen this done before. At the top of the mage tower in the forest, we interrupted one of these rituals, and we stopped it, I think? But they were trying to resurrect an angel or something devious.
Yes, that sounds like the proper testing steps to prove this theory. Angel, greater celestial, god. Indeed.
But what could have enough condensed spiritual energy to resurrect a god?
There was another group that sprang out of here in the town of Servitude. They are the devotees of Azzy Dahaka, the demon prince of storms and wastes. They sent a small splinter faction into the forest in search of great motes of power.
Interesting.
We got to get those motes.
Now, from looking at this note, I see here human resurrection diamond condensed spiritual energy, which is true. The pressures of the earth and the elemental plane of molten rock condense spiritual energy to such a pristine form that we are able to mine it from the ground and facet it into jewels. It is this which burns when we resurrect a slain human, but to resurrect a slain god, well, you would need a much stronger form of condensed spiritual energy. Perhaps these motes of power could provide enough, or perhaps you might need more.
Pardon?
Yes, you there in the front.
Thank you. Yes. We've encountered several moats and things of that nature, and one of the things that interests me is perhaps these Tears of Saloon. Do you know what those are?
Tears of Saloon. I've heard them written of, yes.
Well, you see, as this whole spell that you've done that's reset time and whatnot, your mistake has been our fortune in some sort of way. You see, we've done this multiple times. I'm not sure if you're aware or if you see through the ether, but we've approached you many times, and in those many times we have since died repeatedly. Yet somehow we are still here. The reasoning is that every single time this world resets, we find ourselves in the gardens of the moon, and alas, we are the only ones there. Why do you think that is?
And like in the interest of honesty, since we're obviously laying everything on the table as Sarek just has, we've been huffing moon tears. I'm not gonna lie to
you.
Yes, we've been using them to our advantage, but they've increased our power. But at the same time, we're just straight up giving them to Saloon.
She nods and she says, "You asked a question, whether or not I was aware that your existence was continuing." And the answer is yes, indeed, I am.
Okay.
I'm aware because mine also is continuous instead of reset.
What happens when the world ends for you?
I wake up here. I, unlike, and she gestures out through the gap in the tent, unlike everyone you see outside, I live each day over again with memory, as everyone out there has, of every day they have lived before. But for every other person, any change they make on the day is always reset the next day.
Well, then why are you and we so special?
Honestly, I do not know. It is some vagary of the spell, certain blessed or perhaps cursed this way. There are others who you acting and move through time. They, to my knowledge, include King Astafon, ruler of Ire and leader of the Knights of Astafon, Archbishop Gloic, the cult priest in the court, previously of Coronet, now, though, he does worship Dahaka, and Quintara herself. And of course, you.
But you're not telling us the full truth, are you? There are others. And he points to Kairos. He's like, this gentleman was not originally a member of our group. He was with another group. And the things they did affected only their timeline, not ours.
She frowns in consternation. She says, "Tell me if I have this aright. The four of you entered from outside the dome after its creation. Yes?
Yes.
And you entered together at the same time.
Only three of us.
You three entered together, but you, young man," she gestures to Kairos, "entered separately from these others."
Correct.
Interesting. This is strange. I'm afraid I do not know of it because, as I said before, the dome defied my expectations. It is working according to its own inner logic and not according to my designs.
So, if we're giving these tears to Saloon, a moon goddess, and she is using them for some purpose because we don't know what happens to them, could that be part of their plan?
She pauses for a second. She says, "Your question is a bit confusing for me.
We are collecting these essences of a goddess and giving them back to her in return for powers granted to us from the sun. And in doing so, we are providing a goddess with more power in the form of condensed stones, I feel like perhaps that could be troublesome.
Now, you have met Saloon, this goddess of the moon. I remember something about her. A cult 3,000 years ago seemed interested in her, I think. Now, you have been finding these objects that are dedicated to Saloon, these tiers of Saloon, and returning them to her.
Strangely enough, every time we find them, they're on a person of significance in this world of yours.
Interesting. And when you give them to her, she takes power from the sun and gives it to you.
More like rams into our wrists, but yes.
I understand. After all, what does the moon do other than reflect the sun's light?
Yeah, so it's quite charming.
And what is your question?
Well, you said that what would you need to have enough energy to resurrect a god? Seems weird that we're collecting several dozen small motes of power, these tiers that then we give to her, and then...
Do you happen to have any of these objects with you?
We have three of them, yes.
Would you mind if I examined one for a moment?
I think you hold on to them, Maya.
All right, but if there's take backsies here.
Of course. No, this is yours, and I'm certain that your goddess expects its delivery post-haste. I would not...
Well, she's not my goddess, okay? Let's not get carried away here.
Her eyebrows raise as she accepts the tier of Saloon from you.
Okay, calm down there, okay?
Let me get this straight. Every time you die, you return to the Gardens of the Moon, where lives the living embodiment of this goddess who bequeaths you power in exchange for your service.
We also bring friends back there if you'd like to go. I mean, we can do that now, apparently.
Come hang out anytime, Yes. It's just like, it's a very casual situation.
There's a crow that spits up money.
Yeah.
And you don't think that she is your goddess.
Oh, and she's not.
I have no gods. They don't actually exist.
She's just a friend.
Yeah.
We don't like to put labels on things.
Thank you. Kairos gets it.
She's very voluptuous. I mean, I definitely, if she wasn't a god,
I mean, I don't want to speak for Ankara. For Ankara,
home
Ankara does value the moon, so maybe I don't want to put a label on that. Maybe for Ankara it's different, but I think
I
most
just take
of
my
them...
tiny dinosaur arms and go.
Yeah, see, it's super casual. It's super.
I understand. Yes.
I don't worship her. She's honestly, if we're all speaking frankly here, she's kind of an idiot.
No, she probably worships you. Don't worry, darling.
No. I'm not saying that either. You know, listen, Irma. I got a patron.
So sassy.
So if he found out about this, like, it could be bad.
Examining this object.
So maybe you should just not say stuff like that. Maybe you should think before you talk.
I just take I put my dinosaur claw on Aya's shoulder and I just like pat her.
Thank you.
Look, she hands it back to you.
Study for our power. Some of us make deals with weird old gods, and so maybe you should just chill before you say.
It's not as though God is a relative
He's jealous,
term.
Okay? He's jealous, dude.
No.
If
it's just
finds
a being
out
with power. It doesn't mean it's a god.
Yeah, so, like, it's cool. She didn't even mean anything. And at this point, I'm not talking to anyone in particular. She doesn't even mean anything to me. It was just for fun. I didn't even... So...
Yeah, so she takes the tier of Saloon and she hands it back to you and she says, "This is not a mote of power."
Well, what is it?
She says, "This is smaller than a mote of power, but in the same category. A mote of power is when a god or a patron deity or a sorcerer of extreme power invests their power in a vessel that cannot fully contain the power. And so when you look at the object, what you actually see is a representation of the power that has been invested in it. It could be a tin cup or a jewel or an old skull, but what you see is the energy.
Kind of like a phylactery.
Similar to, yes, in fact, one of the first steps of creating a phylactery is to invest an object with a mote of power, indeed.
Yeah, okay.
But what we have here is, in truth, a fraction of the essence of a god.
Okay.
This is not a fraction of her power that she has invested into an object. This here, and she hands it back to you, the most accurate way of describing the item that you have just handed me is that this is what is left now of Saloon.
So, just throwing it out there, from your expertise in the fields of magic and sorcery and time stoppage and ruining everyone's day, what would you say could be the ramifications of, I don't know, the resurrection of a moon goddess who's been gone for 3,000 years? Just a wild guess, if you had one.
She crosses her arms and she says, "This is unprecedented, but we are living in unprecedented times. The moon, as it used to exist, was, I don't know if you're aware, a stellar body that orbited this planet on which we now stand. It had no light of its own, no power of its own, other than that which it drew from both this planet and from the sun. If this moon goddess is providing you with power and guiding you on your journeys, then I cannot imagine that she means the sun harm."
Y'all,
well, that's a comfort.
Y'all, time out. Totally out of character. Oh my god. All right, I know someone could interpret Steven saying that the sun provides Saloon with their powers, which is why we need to help Saloon, because saving the sun is a good thing, and Saloon, of course, would want. But also, this son of a bitch, Saloon, she needs the sun only for a brief moment to get all of her powers when we give her all the motes back, and then she don't need that sun no more because she's her own woman, and she's like, bitches, I have all my tears now. And she's gonna rule everything, and she'll be like, moon time, motherfuckers! And that's it! And we're all dead! Everyone's in the moon world, except for Ankara, who would probably love it, which is why Ankara has to go. But I'm just putting it out there. This is still a trap. This is still a trap, and we're all doomed, and we're falling right into it. This is bad news.
Either way, you're right. But we need her for now because we have no other way.
Ankara agreed. Yeah, I mean, we keep her around for a little bit.
And we got to stop these motes because otherwise the sun's necro. Do you want necro celestial? I don't want a necro-god.
That's what I'm saying. There's trouble out there.
Okay.
I think Saloon's like, look,
she is.
I need your help for this.
She's a necessary evil, though. I mean, I'm not okay. I'm gonna be honest with you, though, Sarek. I'm not that worried about Saloon. After reading that journal, like, she's the goddess of painful periods. Like, what is she gonna do? Oh no, you have cramps now.
I've never even had a period, so it's an alternate issue for me.
Yeah. What is she gonna do? Oh, childbirth's really gonna hurt. And Gratz, you're trying to push a grape out of a hole the size of, a watermelon out of the size of a hole of a lemon. Of course, it's gonna hurt.
I don't know what you're saying, but it sounds terrifying.
It's okay. Anyways, Ankara gets it, even though she's a dinosaur right now.
I'm not under the wagon anymore. While you guys were doing this, I very clumsily backed out, and I'm sitting outside the wagon, just still listening.
Victorio's standing next to you, going, "Wow, wow."
It's like that movie shot that always happens where something is screams at something, and then just the saliva hits the little kid. And he's like, yeah.
Yep.
We gotta get the motes. Gotta get the motes. We gotta get it, and I don't know.
Okay. Question. Just while we're on the subject of motes of power, it's good to know that these tiers aren't that. However, over the course of our adventures, this one, and he points over at Aya, and he's like, this one, when we're in the church, they had a moat, and at that point, she ate it.
Okay, no, that wasn't a moat, and I actually still have some of it.
What
and
was
I
it?
pull it out of my bag, and I'm like, it's a god soul, I think.
Oh,
it's
just a
what's
gold
left
soul.
Of Dahanka, and I plop it into Iramon's lap, and if I remember correctly, it's like pudding or it's like jello. I'm like, some of it's missing, but only like 2 spoonfuls. The rest of it is there.
Yeah. Her eyebrows raise and she says, you have certainly come into contact with a lot of the material of the gods.
And then she ate it.
It was cool. It was really
not
cool.
She frowns
Clara
and she
saw
says,
some really cool stuff. I really just got the taste of Pop Rocks. I remember that really clearly.
unless you yourself would value becoming the new embodied avatar of Dahaka, I cannot advise consuming any more of this particular soul.
Oh, I think I already did. Because then there was another god apple, and I totally.
Oh, that's correct. She then we were in the woods. Oh, hey,
something tried to possess me. Something was like, "Bitch, I'm coming," but I fought it off. So.
Yes.
Do you describe what that was?
Huh?
Do you describe what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's just like, all right.
I eat some weird stuff because you never know. My
previous impression of you four has to be revised. You are clearly even more experienced and also foolhardy than I originally thought. She says, first, you are telling me that Quintara's associates in the King's Wood are bringing to fruition their plans to resurrect some kind of celestial as a step on the path to resurrecting the sun.
Yes.
But through necromantic means.
Yes.
She says, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, but that is very bad.
Yes.
Unless you would appreciate being ruled by an undead orb staring down from the sky and giving unlife as much as the current sun gives life.
I've dated a few of those.
I believe that you may wish to put a halt to that progress as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Especially if there's something about only 32 turns.
Yes.
Secondarily, you are telling me that you found a tree made out of bone which grew a single red apple.
Yes.
And it imbued your very soul with new vigor.
Yes.
But
Something
also
about
subjected your mind to the pryings of some entity of which you do not know.
Oh, I know. I talked to this guy. He spoke
What was
to
it?
me. He's old, kind of like my patron. And he's dead. But I feel like he's trying to come back. Yeah.
I call him the Anchor.
That's a good name because he was deep in the earth.
Indeed. Do you know who he is?
Well, I'm assuming Nazoon.
She claps.
The
She
snake
says,
said
yes.
Nazoon. Yeah.
His name is Nazoon, and he lies deep buried within the earth. He died eons ago, but his spirit makes a powerful magical anchor. It is the only way that I was able to skewer Velzirathoth and anchor him to the ground. That forms the tether which keeps that forest god chained to his location and prevents him from causing havoc.
So is it bad that I ate his apple?
She sort of waves. She says,
What's good or
if
bad?
you haven't felt any ill effects now, I would not particularly worry.
There was one ill effect.
Oh, yeah. We kind of messed up a little bit.
I can only imagine a dwarf just like...
Tell me what you have messed up.
Well, okay. In our defense, though, Sarek, she was already messed up when we found her.
Don't look at me. I tried to stay out of it.
Okay, so there's this girl. We think she's a princess. She's from a really old kingdom that only Sarek knows about because he's some kind of book nerd. And
he does seem like that, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's always raising his hand.
He is, and he's always writing stuff down in his weird little journal with nudie pictures.
Sarek looks up at you, and he's like half doing a boob. He's like, what?
Yeah, it's horny.
I'm
horny
sure he
journal.
justifies them as
Called hentai, that's art.
Yeah.
It's art.
It's porn. And we went under the tree, and down there was this weird, really gross tooth hole that only a lumpkin can come up with, and inside there was a prison. And inside that prison, there was a girl made of bone. And Ankara managed to befriend her because Ankara is a sweet soul that manages to befriend just about anything, even a hideous, skinless, weird-ass creature. And then Ankara, who, because she's so sweet, introduced her to us. And of course, we were horrified, especially Kairos. Kairos was like, we should just kill this bitch and be done with it. Freaking smite her, am I right?
I don't even lie.
She nods.
Abomination, okay?
So, yes.
But she seemed like a nice person.
We really screwed up.
And so we're like, you know what? Ankara actually looked past her horrific exterior and realized she's a nice person. Maybe we shouldn't just outright smite her. And we thought, let's feed her this apple.
I poke my head back under the cart and try to say, like, her name was Melissa.
But it just comes out like,
as a dinosaur. Kind of sounds like a sentence, but it's as a dinosaur saying.
She holds up her hand and she says, she said her name was Melissa.
Right, Melissa. So then I'm like, cool, we still have the apple core, and we give it to her, and all her skin grows back. Great for us, right? We don't have to look at that anymore. Bad for her, because now she thinks she's a skeleton, but she's not. Like it's like reverse. Like when she was a horrific, like walking around, teeth chattering, like, hey everybody, you have nice skin. She thought she was normal. And now that we fixed that, she thinks she's a skeleton. You see where I'm going?
That sounds like a plausible consequence from long-term exposure to Nazoon's latent psyche.
Oh, now I gotta crack that skull open and see what's inside.
Probably nothing. Just skull.
Well, I mean, she's been in contact with this dude.
So you're going to just be like, hey, princess, what's going on? Let's talk old gods.
Oh, no, I'm not even going to tell her. I could just read her mind.
She waves her hand and says, now you crawled your way down into the depths of the earth below this tree.
Yes, in the Lumpkin tunnels.
Yes, down in the Lumpkin tunnels.
Yes.
I understand. I know them well.
Everyone does. With their hideous teeth and slimy villains.
They're very
There's
popular.
a lot of bad stuff down there.
Yes, in the Lumpkin tunnels.
There's this leathery, soft, furry, weird bat things that attached itself.
Yes.
When people said Lumpkin tunnels, I knew exactly what they meant. Everyone does.
I've heard that everybody wants to be in the Lumpkin
Leathery and wet Lumpkin tunnels. Just everyone knows that phrase in these kingdoms.
She says, did you happen to find any of the devotees of Dahaka?
No.
Yes, when we slaughtered and killed their god.
I mean down in the depths below the tree.
We heard some weird stuff and we decided not to go.
Do you want to tell her about your encounter, Ark?
Which encounter?
When you got ganked by your shadow form.
Oh god. Okay, hey,
That's a
dwarf
technical
lady.
guess.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Look, it was embarrassment for me, and it's more embarrassing for all of these people, but at a certain point, we discovered that when you sent us back into the past, the way you did, through shared vision, those people that we were have currently, in this timeline, become a giant pain in our asses. They are like the evil us's. And so there's like a baddie me running around underground, stabbing people. And there's like a big bear in the woods that we fought. But it was like, I've got 3 extra lives. And then there's...
those are moats of power.
Oh, yes. Had little moats around its neck. Question, could we steal a moat?
She turns to you and she says, yes, Asher, Ursa, Melkart, and Sund. I'm aware of them, have been for quite a long time. Would-be assassins dominated by Astafon's will and turned to his side. Yes, when Astafon learned of the cult of Dahaka's growing power, he ordered them to intervene.
So we've got 3 players on the field. We've got the devotees of Dahaka, who are following Quintara.
The devotees of Dahaka follow Archbishop Gloic.
And is Gloic loyal to Quintara?
No. Archbishop Gloic and his Dahaka cultists tend to work underground. They're based in the cathedral halls connected to the catacombs beneath the palace, which is why I asked Sarek if you saw any Dahaka cultists down in the depths.
Okay.
They are
There's a lot of people right now. So Quintara is trying to resurrect a necrocelestial.
Quintara is trying to resurrect the sun after its death.
And the devotees are trying to resurrect Dahaka.
Specifically, Archbishop Gloic and his devotees of Dahaka seek a religious solution, divine intervention. Though, as is most often the case with divine intervention, it saves only the faithful. I believe they seek to entice Dahaka to manifest fully in this realm in his godhood form and to swallow the earth.
That's bad. And then you have Astafon, and Astafon obviously wants neither of these things. So he's sent his 4 baddies to stop them.
Yes.
And then there's us.
And then there's
are
you.
Unfortunately opposed to all of these factions.
But might I step in for 1 second? Based on that information, who do you side with?
She sighs. She says, Gloic and his cultists seek to summon Dahaka to this realm to devour the earth. After that happens, the faithful of Dahaka will live on in the holy realm of Azi Dahaka, but everybody else on this planet will die. Quintara and her acolytes seek to invest the sun with necromantic life, killing and then resurrecting it as an undead creature. That, while I'm certain would lead to more people continuing their existence, I can only imagine what kind of horrible half-existence it would be to live under an undead star. I personally have imposed my exile here out of shame for what I did, but I do believe that Astafon is working on a solution. I still put my faith in the king to solve this problem.
So are you going to completely ignore the fact that the king is a giant piece of shit?
She chuckles, and then she says, Aya, what king is not?
I knew she was going to say that. I knew it. I've been around royalty. That's
mean,
terrible.
Okay, so just, I just got to say this. You probably weren't helping your case when you sent us back in time to meet him, because now we have first-hand experience of just how terrible he is.
She nods and she says, yes, those 4 were rash. They sought to kill the king without speaking with him, without trying to hear his position. The king he had his back to the wall. The people of the town of Servitude would not listen to reason. He had to act. Do I agree with the decision that he took? No. Do I see why he had to take it?
Didn't the people of Servitude just want rights?
She spreads her hands. She says,
didn't they just want to stop dying in an awful war?
Under difficult circumstances, difficult decisions must be made.
I kick her pot of tea over. I kick her pot of tea over. The whole can, the whole kit and caboodle. Just bam.
She sits back and she says, it's true. It did not work out, and it has not turned out for the better. But Astafon has all of the resources. He has his libraries. He has the planar scope. He has everything that he needs to find a solution. Perhaps if you four can speak to him, you can help impose on him the importance of extending that solution as far as is possible.
How can we go speak to him? How do we just walk up to the king?
How have you walked anywhere in this world?
I swear to God, if there was another pot of tea, I would flip it. I would.
Yeah, she says.
You realize he created all the problems, though, right? Like the whole Civil War bit. Kairos, you gotta have something to say about all this.
I think I might know a way to get an audience with the king.
What is it? Since when?
That's not what I expected you to say. Of all the things I expected you to say in this moment, that is not what I expected you to say.
Well, I have no proof that it would work, but if the king wants competency, then we deliver him competency. We do what his factotums could not. We deliver him the head of the Bishop of Dahaka.
Oh shit, that is a real plan.
That is a real plan.
Wow. I like kind of look at you like, all right, okay.
She says, I can offer you assistance. I know the castle. At least I know its main thoroughfares. I know my own quarters.
Oh, yeah. No, I am sure you're very familiar with the floor layout since you were, polishing it with your mouth. I'm sure you have a very clear view of the floors and the layouts from when you were licking boots in there.
She crosses her arms and she says, there is a difference between polishing floors and boots.
I laugh in character now.
The fucking balls on Aya to sass someone who can polymorph you is great.
Wisdom is a dump stat. Wisdom is a dump stat.
She says, there are 3 primary wings that you need to be aware of. The cathedral halls and the catacombs beneath the palace, the garden quarters where resides Quintara and her artificers and acolytes, and the high spire where resides King Astafon, protected by his knights. The main hall connects and adjoins these 3 areas.
Okay, I know this seems like the thing we need to do, but we're also on a clock when it comes to the Colosseum as well. And so,
oh, yes. Oh, that's very bad. You should definitely stop that.
I feel like
Have you noticed the walls of our world thinning?
Have you noticed that everything's messed up, lady? It's trouble out there. You're in here underneath this little wagon, hiding away, drinking your teas. There's only one of us out there doing anything, and it takes 3 helpers to make it happen.
Also, we met Velziratoth, and he was kind of cool, if I'm being honest. He was actually kind of dope.
She nods to Sarek and she says, I understand what it is like being a mere assistant to someone of Ankara's ability, but you have everyone's
Don't kiss her ass now that she's mad at you, you old hag.
Ankara, are you mad at me?
I am.
Well.
Did you roar this at her?
She left the damn building. She's outside. She's so unhappy with you.
She's playing patty cake with a child.
Yes, she literally would rather spend more time with Pretorio than in here with you.
Roar.
Can I ask, by brainwaves to Aya, do we know if the devotees of Dahaka and the Kantara people like each other?
Yeah, I'll ask that. Because I have telepathic contact.
Maybe we could get them to murder each other.
She chuckles. She says, "Dear me, no. No one in the palace likes each other."
Whoa, what about this planar scope?
Oh, yes. The planar scope. A diagnostic plan. When built, it would power a planar gate to the holy realm of the sun's eternal fire. Once there, we could diagnose and possibly correct the fault with the sun itself. But no matter. The viewing lens was destroyed through Quintara's treachery.
Well, no. The dust of the earth have it.
The what?
Nothing. Shit. Nothing. They have nothing.
They
don't have shit.
What is she gonna do?
They've got nothing.
She's gonna sit here in her cart. She's not moving. If she was gonna do anything, she would have done it by now.
She says, wait. You mean to tell me that the planar scope's viewing lens still exists?
Oh, yeah.
Why are you like this? Why must you
I'm
do
not
this?
afraid of her. She's not doing anything. She's going to sit here under her cart and wait for us to solve all her problems, just like she has. She created this mess, and then she ran away from it because she's the type of person who runs away from her problems. So you know what? Oh, if she comes after me, you know what I'll do? I'll run because she's never going to come after me. She's going to sit in her cart and let her problems run away.
She sits back and says, I think that I deserve that rebuke.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For not fighting with me, because if you made this dome, God knows you could probably just make one around my head and suffocate me to death. Don't take that as an idea. I'm just upset with you because it seemed like you were really cool and you had all these awesome powers and you could have done so many cool things with it. And instead, you're the reason we're in this predicament. And that's so upsetting.
She nods and she says, imagine how upsetting it is for me.
Well, don't make me feel bad.
I don't feel bad at all, actually.
She nods and she says, yes, well, truth be told, it was unsafe for me to remain in the palace. I had some measure of political will, enough to enact the time stop spell that you see and the consequences as you have observed. When it all went wrong, it became very quickly clear that my political will had vanished and I needed to vacate the premises. If I desired to continue respiring.
Now, why is that the case? Who wants you dead?
Okay, Astefan, obviously, because she messed
Who
up.
doesn't?
But
the king grew irritated with me, which is not in itself proof that he desires my death, but it is in itself enough to suggest that he would not.
Why did the king grow irritated? Question.
Sorry. She puts her hands together very patiently and she looks at you and she says, what is above our heads?
No, time out. So just to be clear, the king was irritated after this happened?
I cast a spell. The spell was intended to produce a time stop that would cover the entire palace.
All right. Just want to be clear for later on when I found out you're lying. That's all.
Carry on.
Wait, couldn't we do an adjustment to Kairos's plan? Couldn't we just pretend, obviously, that you're our prisoner and present you to the king?
She laughs and she says, the king probably wouldn't be terribly impressed with you, but
I mean, you're like you're like his favorite wizard.
You literally made the dome. Yes. I'm not looking for impressions.
Yeah.
I am trying to communicate to you that the king, I have fallen out of his favor. He now relies more on the others than he does on me.
Sounds like some suspicious stuff to me.
If you really wanted to present me as prisoner, I am certain that Quintara or Gloic, either of them, would be glad to see me eradicated.
Yeah, we have a note here that says you're a fool. They're talking about you. They're like, oh, she's a fool.
Who's talking shit?
Wait, what note was it where it says Iramon is a fool and a traitor? Yeah, they said you're a fool. They said you're a traitor.
That sounds like Quintara.
Because there was I don't remember which note it was. There's so many notes. There's so many notes, Steven.
She nods. She says, yes. My relationship with the others was never very strong.
Right here. And I hand her the Colosseum Stellarum note.
Ah, good call.
Yeah, she reads over it. She says, yes. This is written by the acolytes of Quintara. Yes, it's not the sun's death that matters. They're willing to let the sun die, but what happens after? They're attempting to resurrect the sun into undeath. The planar scope is irrelevant. They don't see the need and never did see the need to diagnose the fault with the sun because their plan was never to fix the sun, but instead resurrect it. Iramon was a traitor and a fool. Well, I think you can understand how another wizard might feel about my plans going so awry.
You're going to take that?
I already have.
I was hoping maybe you would go defend your good name and deal with our problem for us, but I guess the tea here is just too good.
She looks at you
maybe
like,
we could use
I'm a quest giver, hun. I don't know.
As
Who the
bait,
hell do you think
maybe.
I am?
We could use her as bait. Because from Sarek's description, there is an impenetrable dome around this lady. We got to get her to drop that. We don't have a way of getting in there. We put you on the outside of the dome.
There are 3
Suddenly,
keys.
Sarek, remind me of this ritual you observed, if you would.
Yes. So inside the Colosseum in the central area was a golden dome being empowered through ritual by various sorcerers, magicians, what have you. I don't know the difference, honestly. And in the center, a young woman channeling this power in sort of a 2-dimensional swirl. Obviously, summoning or channeling towards some sort of point.
I understand. What you saw was a miraculous wall of force, a shield which will keep the ritual intact. But it sounds as though what she has actually done is prepared a ritual area for the sacrifice of the celestial she intends to summon. You said there was a 2-dimensional golden swirl on the ground, yes?
Yes.
It's a spirit portal. It allows the spirit to depart the body and travel to another plane. There is a problem. A spirit portal requires a physical portal at some other nearby location. Somewhere nearby, there is a portal to the plane from which they intend to rip this celestial, and said wizard's spirit is in that place, seeking for her prey.
Now, if a portal of this nature, it would be big, yes? It would require a large space?
Surprisingly small. The size of a very large doorway. It would certainly fit within a simple room.
One that would, let's say, is locked by 3 keys.
She says, you've mentioned these keys before.
Yes.
It sounds as if whatever might be closed behind those doors is of great importance.
I would think so. If I was a game designer who had to make a D&D world, I certainly would make that part of it, for sure.
Would you really, though? Or would you put something asinine behind the doors to fool your stupid players into doing something ridiculous while the clock clicks down?
No, because unfortunately, I know a lumpkin, and lumpkins are good. Despite what everyone says, lumpkins are good deep inside, and they would never do that.
Are they? I don't know. I don't think that I've heard that about
lumpkin. Lumpkin was similar to a sweet roll in a bag with a knife.
Actually,
is the knife intended to cut the sweet roll, or perhaps
no,
sometimes reach
because
in and grab
inside...
the sweet roll, and sometimes reach in and get stabbed by the knife?
Here's the thing: there actually are no sweet rolls inside. It's all a ruse. In fact, it's actually a baguette. A plain baguette with 1 steak knife. It's actually quite terrible. I know. That's what when you go to the local inn, you ask for the lumpkin special. They give you a bag that says sweet roll, and inside is actually just a steak knife and a bagel.
She
Walk it
waves her
down with some
hand
meat.
and
You
she
got to have the
says,
night.
if I were a group of powerful mages intending to protect the portal that I was using to bring a celestial into this world so that I might kill it and resurrect it, I would hide it behind a well-guarded and thoroughly locked door. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
Maybe if I like summoned a giant guardian stone golem, that would probably
Stone golem.
This might be because I have a small brain, but who
is this not a
which
character
faction,
or
this is
yeah.
Which faction has let not the light of heaven shine upon our sins?
That's Quintara's people.
That's Quintara's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so like out of character, that tower, the Turim Arcanum, was inhabited by a chunk of Quintara's faction
forces. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. So they're
and the Colosseum Stellarum are also inhabited by Quintara's faction.
Gotcha. So they are the same group. But,
yes.
Okay, I got it now. This was like their testing grounds or their proving grounds of like does this work or not, and the Colosseum's the real deal. Got it. Okay. Cool. So
Question.
This is like okay, I got it.
Should we take a 3-minute break, take a quick tinkle, grab some water, come back and keep running?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's hook that up.
All right. We're going to take a quick break as I type it in here, and we'll be back in like a hot sec. Go tinkle, go do what you got to do. We'll see y'all very shortly. Bye. Pew. Hello, we're back, everybody.
I'm too attached to all of you. You're never getting away, Britt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Never.
people in chat are like,
I'm
when the
comfortable
Sunfall
with
Cycle
that.
is over. What
I'm
if,
the most like willing prisoner ever.
what if
Stockholm
whenever this,
syndrome.
Keep me.
what if
Please
whenever
keep
this
me.
ends, Bronze becomes the DM and Steven has to play? Or I become the DM and Steven
I
has
don't
to,
feel like those are shoes I can fill.
I'm just saying.
Heard
Not
sounds of
true.
Lumpkin tunnels.
I would specifically from now on, everything I do is gonna have lumpkin tunnels. They're gonna be in there. Everything I'm like, you had to enter the lumpkin tunnels, known for its wet, leathery. Yes,
2020's been a real lumpkin tunnel of a year, huh, guys?
God, 2020 has been a lumpkin tunnel.
what a
of a year.
lumpkin tunnel.
It has.
God.
It's literally been like, oh, here's this bad thing. Also, murder hornets. And it's like, what? Did Steven write the campaign? What do you mean, fucking murder hornets?
We should just, when this is over, we should just play 2020.
They're in Washington State, y'all. I'm so scared.
Right. Welcome back to Echoes of Eternity, where
this is
we
just
are
how
dealing with
they
the
get
lumpkin
everyone
tunnels.
to stay inside. They release murder hornets. They're like, don't go out.
Are you scared, Eric? Are you afraid of murder hornets in our area?
I mean, if I was a beekeeper, I'd be really pissed off about the new meta. Yeah.
Yep.
Yo, beekeepers.
After putting
real
all those
talk,
points into bees.
beekeepers have had it rough. Beekeepers.
They have.
They're the only people keeping us alive. Real talk. Beekeepers are saving the world day by day.
And they're heroes. So like the dude in Canada who took out the murder hornet nest, he wore sweatpants underneath a beekeeper suit, and he still said that when he got stung, it was like the most painful experience that he's ever had. He said it was like a hot metal poker. It punctured through a beekeeping suit and sweatpants.
Yeah.
Woof.
Yeah, when
All
they
right,
can
folks.
punch through beekeeping gear, you know you need like
They're in Washington. This is what I get for making fun of California, where I'm like, everything bad happens in Florida and California. And now they're like, oh yeah, bitch. Yeah.
the murder
Fucking
hornets.
murder hornets.
The reason why they're called murder hornets is they decapitate the bees. They just go to
they
the
don't
nest.
murder us. They kill
They
bees.
They just cut the heads off the bees with their mandibles.
Oh.
It's
Yeah.
really
And
sad.
they kill an entire hive that way.
It's
The bees,
really
and the bees don't do
sad.
anything about it because of this.
They're
pheromones and
just
stuff.
little bees.
No,
they're
it's-
just little
no.
bees.
Just trying to fuck
you-
flowers, live their lives. They don't want to hurt anybody.
They don't.
They're like, is that a stem?
They're just like, that's how I imagine bees live their lives.
Yeah, and then their queen's like, buzz, 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 buzz. They're like, buzz, 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 right? Because the queen's sassy, obviously. She gotta handle all the boys.
Our next RPG should be all of us as working
bees. We're just buzz, 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 buzz.
Like Bug's Life.
You can play Maid RPG as bees.
Oh my god. I'll never forget when I got screwed out of that. That was my time. I was gonna be the best maid, and I rolled pure. Y'all, I rolled pure. Everyone, the whole idea. If you never played Maid RPG is you're trying to seduce basically the DM, and so you're trying to like seduce the DM's main character. And people we played with, everyone was rolling like seductive lolly or like crazy shit, and I rolled pure, and then pure again. So everyone else is like, I lure him into the bedroom. I'm like, I mow the lawn because the lawn needs mowing.
That's when you're just like, I take my pants off in the middle of the room because they're dirty and they need to be washed. Exactly. So I just take them off.
If I was pure and trying to seduce him, maybe. But I was pure, so I was double pure. That would never cross my mind. I'd be like, well, that would just make it awkward for him. So I definitely shouldn't do that.
Oh, you're pure and thoughtful.
I was pure. I was so pure. There was nothing. Nothing would.
You didn't even have genitals.
But wait,
I was a Barbie doll.
Didn't Britt say last week that like for her, like, you know, the part of porn that's missing is like the person being nice to the person before or after the act? I'm just gonna call it that.
Pure
might be someone's fetish where it's like, I'm gonna do your dishes, and somebody might be like, oh my god, that makes me so fucking horny.
Yeah, but then it's also like, okay, dishes are done, bye, and they leave. They're like, all right, see you around.
All right, kids.
What's happening? What were we doing? Oh, we have to.
We're playing Dungeons and
yelling
Dragons,
at Iramon is what we were doing.
Yeah.
We were done yelling at her, I think.
We were talking about the Coliseum and
how we got
Tara faction doing the practice, and now they're doing the real thing in the Coliseum. We have to hurry up.
I just want to like out of character pause for a second and be like, this is my time to be like, I want to give you what you want from this character.
I think so like got a lot of it though.
Is there anything you feel like you're missing? If you're like, hey, yo, why don't you go fix this shit? She'll happily be like, so when I was working for Astefan, I had like an entire wing of young acolytes who were up and coming mages. I had all of my spell books. I had all of the resources at my disposal. I have none of that now. I'm only one person, and I don't know if you knew this, but wizards are very squishy.
I guess I'll say to Aya, like in her brain. Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, go for it.
I was just gonna say maybe we should have a discussion about like whether we should either ask her to help like be bait or let us use her, or should we not ask her and have a discussion and find a way to like basically trick her into doing what we want her to do.
I think
I have an idea, and that might play into it. You're saying you don't have your books, you don't have your acolytes. There was a lot of books in that tower. What if we clear out that tower and give you possession of it?
You mean the Tarim Arcanum?
Yes. If we gave you the Tarim Arcanum and we gave you a viewing lens, do you think you could fix the sun? This is your chance to set everything right. This could be the moment you're waiting for.
She frowns. She strokes her beard. She says,
nah, I'm good.
She says, there is something interesting in what you say. If you give me the tower, and if you get into the castle and you get me the books that I tell you, then I think I can probably do some research into how this problem might be corrected. If I had the viewing lens, I could probably construct a rudimentary planar scope enough to let, say, 4 individuals traverse into the realm of the elemental sun.
This is the first time in all of our who knows how many cycles we have a plan, like an actual plan. I feel like we have been bumbling, just feeling our way.
I feel like we actually might be able to strategize something here.
And now we have dim light, and it is a game changer.
I mean, do we need to get her the tower though, or can we just give her have her work with Lander because he has that whole library in space?
Well, the reason I suggested the tower is the tower has all those machinations and the glasses and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Before we set off on a plan, I definitely think we should ask her. That's what I was gonna say. We should ask her about Leander though, because she's like, I know all these people, and we should be like, who's this dude?
Yeah. Do it.
Yeah, I mentioned to her Leander and how he's like working for us now, and we found him in a jail cell, and he claims to be some sort of conjurer of renown. So, does she know who he is?
You found a wizard.
Yes.
Who claimed to be named Leander.
Yes.
In a jail cell.
Yes.
He was sneaking out of town.
We don't know exactly what
Found him in a jail cell
do.
twice, honestly.
Yes. He keeps getting captured, so he's very bad at it, if anything.
I don't think he's much of a wizard, if I'm being honest.
And you said he has a book that contains infinite books?
We actually gave it to him, I believe. It was in the tower, and then we took it and gave it to him.
She sits back and she says, I am a wizard of great renown, of great repute. Wizards have traveled from all kingdoms around to come to my symposia, to study at my feet, and to read and describe from my books. And never once have I heard of a wizard of the description you have just given me.
Interesting.
But, I mean, we're talking like interplanar library.
That in particular is not a thing I have ever heard of, and I am very curious about why.
He's very secretive about it. The only way to get in is through one of his books. If you possess the book, you can get into the library.
Although you've been inside it.
I tried to steal the book from him. I mean, if we're being honest here. I was like, why don't we get rid of this awkward, weird looking dude? And it's my library. Yay, shiny new library. And then Ankara had to save me because I found myself falling through space and time infinitely. And I hit my head on like 3 bookcases and it was terrible.
That does sound bad.
It was bad. It was just an infinite fall. Like you just don't stop falling. Except occasionally you whack your head on a bookshelf and then you just keep falling. So it's difficult it's real though. I'm pretty right. Yeah. I mean, he is a master of illusions. I guess he could. No. Because all of you saw me. No, it's real. It exists.
I believe you. It is simply something of which I have no knowledge, which I must impress upon you is exceedingly rare.
Yes. No. We understand.
Does this mean we have to start respecting that dude?
No. It just means that he is possibly more important than we thought. But importance does not equal respect.
He kind of seems like a loser, if I'm being honest with you, Iramon. Like, he was like, oh, I'll give you this rock if you let me out. And he cast like a minor illusion on it. And of course, we fell for it. And then he
got captured again. Stifles a laugh.
And then he got captured again, and he was in this weird arcane prison, like this crazy arcane prison with all these levers and stuff, and he couldn't get out. And
in
then
the Tarim Arcanum.
Yes.
You mean there's machinery in there?
A lot. There's like only Kairos could read it. There's like Draconic written on the ground. There's this crazy multi-floored thing with metal and glass.
She nods and she says,
and
I think there is something to your plan. If there is the kind of machinery and imprisoning equipment in this tower as you describe, well, Quintara has been bolder than I thought, but perhaps her bold preparations will turn to our advantage. Yes.
Oh, and there's this case we couldn't get into.
Yes, I tried to break in, but it knocked me on my butt.
There's a magical case, and there was so much in that room. It smelled good in there.
It would be lovely to go back with you. Yes, whenever you entered the room, there was sort of an overpowering odor that would make me very nauseous.
It was good. It smelled good in there.
That's because you're a mana addict, you fiend.
What? No. It was a good. You'd like it, Aaron. Trust me. This is a good aroma. It's the aroma of like
Disgusting.
ozone and
Ugh.
Science.
Gross.
It was good.
Pukey.
Like ammonia and petroleum mixed together.
Ugh. Oh,
Very
my.
well. Yes,
Ugh.
you have interested me. I will accompany you back to the tower and set up my quarters there.
Okay, there was a question of how do we deal with the guard that respawns?
He's only respawned in the basement. Just don't go down there.
Oh yeah, so don't go near the imprisoning equipment because there's a dude down there.
She holds up a finger and she says, you have encountered the problem of opponents returning back to life on the reset of the cycle.
Yes.
This is a problem I can solve for you.
Get the shit out of shit. Question. If we take you back there and this dude who's in the basement who has like calling friends and whatnot, can you turn him back to our side?
She shakes her head, says, unfortunately, I do not know of a way to reverse the effects of the shadow burn, but I do know of a way to make it so that these people find themselves outside the stream of time, and when they are slain for real and do not return.
What about those that are overtaken by it? We've seen a few people that at first were fine and then over time changed.
Yes, the oppressive nature of the acts of the dome on the psyche seem not to all take effect immediately, but instead take some time for certain individuals.
Fascinating.
But yes, you, as I mentioned earlier, the veil of the world is thinning. You, I think, have seen the arcane rifts that produce this arcane flux.
Yes. She touched one. And I point sort of outside the door to Ankara.
It is a valuable resource. If you bring it to me, I can fashion an item that, when thrust into the heart of one of these creatures, will cause them to be ejected out of the flow of time, and they will die the permanent death.
Do we have it on us? Because if so, I just want to throw shit at her. Be like, now, make it.
We do have some arcane flux on us.
She catches the pouch of arcane flux and says,
we have,
have 20... quite a lot.
Yeah.
We require them, thank you.
We've been messing with the arcane a little
34
bit.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I didn't add the last bits, I guess.
We've really been messing with the arcane lately.
We got blown up.
We would very much like one, thank you. Is it reusable?
No.
And we want every single one that Flux can buy then, thank you.
Every spike.
Every spike you have.
Costs 5 arcane flux.
Great,
okay, well
we'll
maybe no.
5 spikes. 4 spikes. 4 spikes.
Shiny things Deether can make. Are you really sure?
He's not making me shit. 5
he can.
spikes.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Yes, he can.
She says, it will take me time to craft one. You will have some time to make your decisions, but perhaps as a first matter of course, we should navigate ourselves to the tower.
Right. We'll escort you. I'm sure you can probably handle yourself.
Should we though? Or should we go to the water weird and then come back and get that spike?
We only got 30 cycles.
We should go kill the water weird.
We don't even know what's
right
in that
down
room.
the street.
Okay, we're gonna go down the street.
We killed the water weird, but it's like, what's in the door behind it? That's all.
And do
we just
something.
Want to find out.
Okay, that's fair. We're gonna go down the street. We're gonna do a thing, and then we're gonna be right back. And then after that, we'll escort you to the tower.
Yeah, we'll get the spike as promised, then escort you.
Very well. Are you like getting ready to depart now and go to the water weird?
I would like to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, do we need to rest and heal up at all? No.
I mean, we're all half, but I don't know that anything in there is.
It's fine.
It's from like the way beginning, so I'm still myself too. I mean, I'm still not myself.
You're still your dino self.
You're still Bert Wiseman.
And so, like, and Steven, my HP was on my main character, right? The halving. So I have the full
No, it halved your current HP, so it halved your Dino HP, but your character has full HP. So
got it. That makes sense.
So there's a couple of things as you start getting ready to leave. She says, "If you would, a thought on your current course of directions. First, by all means, investigate whatever it is you need to, wherever this water weird is located. When you return, we should travel together to the tower. I can get set up and begin assembling my seclusium.
Sure, of course.
From there, I will be able to help you. First and foremost, after that, Quintara's acolytes in the Kingswood must be stopped.
Yes,
Even now the walls of our world are thinning, and if time is short, then you must pursue that objective. If you can, after that, if, as you have told me, those two are truly lost, then both Ursa and Sund have resources with them that would be better served in our hands. You should seek to eliminate them and claim those resources for yourself. Then I believe it would be wise to take your adventure into the castle itself, whether by the gates or by the caverns on the backside in the Kingswood, or if you can, then by flight up to the terrace level. You should seek the king. He has the solution to all of this. Perhaps your services can provide his efforts with aid. I can perhaps provide you assistance in that, or, as you mentioned, collecting Gloick's head would, I believe, put a smile on Astefan's face.
Okay.
This is our DM kindly telling us, yo!
Yeah.
Dummies!
I don't know what that means, but it sounds good to me.
Do things in this order, or you'll die.
She spreads her hands and she says, your choices are yours to make.
You said there was catacombs under the cathedral.
Yes.
We've been in the cathedral.
We've been to those
cathedral's
catacombs.
Empty.
Mm-hmm.
I mean the cathedral halls in the palace compound itself.
Got you.
We've not been.
How large are these catacombs?
They can be confusing if you don't know your way, but they're not exceedingly large. They are for the royal line and the prized retainers for the kingdom since time immemorial.
And are they somehow connected to this weird place where Blacksmith Runoff comes off and there is a very large bro who lives down there, mayhaps by the name of Henderstentia?
She laughs. She says, that old fool, he's still kicking around, is he?
Oh, you know him.
Is he still seeking riddles?
Yeah, him and I had a conversation. He did eat everyone else here, though.
She laughs. She says, I had wondered where he had gone to. So you have been down underneath the city then?
Does that lead up to anywhere useful?
She says, the ways under our feet are complex and interconnected. It may be that if you explore them, you will find some other end not currently aware of. What I know of is that if you seek the cavern on the back side of the castle, that leads into the catacombs, which lead into the cathedral halls. But these other sections you speak of now, for example, where Sund is hiding, perhaps there is another access point.
A dude like Astefan would totally have a secret exit that only he knows about because he's paranoid.
Oh, of course.
That is absolutely true. You should know.
And it would probably lead directly to his room.
The castle is filled with all manner of secret accesses and entrances and hallways.
So that's another avenue we can take after we deal with this water weird, because we won't be far. Maybe we can go have a conversation with Henderstentia and see what he knows. If he doesn't eat you. It kind of depends on his mood, really. He's kind of weird. You know, he seemed to settle down after he made a snack out of Sarek. So maybe he'll just eat one of you, and then the rest of us can talk to him. Anyways, let's go to the.
Why is it about us and not you? Maybe he'll have a taste for you this time.
I have rapport with him. He likes me. He thought I was very funny.
Maybe he likes to have rapport with his dinner.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty good.
Pretty damn good, Jesse.
Well, I say we should all go prepare to go to the water weird room, and I'll just finish up my tea here.
She says, young Saurian, if you would, a moment. She's speaking to you, Ankara.
Oh, sorry, yes.
She says, I have a gift for you.
Bitch.
Hold out my dinosaur claw.
A dear friend of mine made it for me years ago when she was concerned that I relied overmuch on my spell casting. She knew that I despised the feel of a weapon in my hand, and so she made me this bracelet, and she unclasps a slight silver bracelet from around her gray wrist. She says, this will aid any strikes made without the use of a weapon. And I believe that that should indeed apply to you, at least, quite often. And then she clasps it around your dinosaur wrist.
Are you now dino strong? Oh my god.
Wait, this dinosaur is wearing bangles?
I'm wearing a bracelet.
Yep. Dino bracelet.
Her like little hoops too.
I still have my cape on. I still have my cape on.
Amazing.
I'm just imagining the little arm with like a little bracelet on it.
Yeah.
Like, girl.
Yeah, my claws are painted.
And what this does, Britt, is it applies a +1 bonus to your attack and damage with any unarmed attacks.
Damn.
Now your bites and stuff are already count as magical, but
yeah,
this gives you +1.
Sick.
Cool.
I guess I just like look at it in the light and then try to do like a graceful like dinosaur bow.
Awesome.
Thank you. I'm just trying to figure out like exactly all the things I can do with this thing. I'm excited.
Awesome. Yeah. She nods and she says, thank you for your time, for listening. And I think your inspiration, your plan, it's sound.
We're going to fix this. Thanks for coming clean with us, because I feel like everybody else is like, I know everything, but I won't tell you anything. And you're the first person that was forthcoming. Granted, it was the second time around. We're going to head out. I'm not sorry for knocking your teapot over, because you probably deserve that.
As we walk out, I'm like outside of the cart and I'm doing like like dinosaur punches and like kicks and stuff. I'm like excited
to like drink his tea. He's like, I'll be with you. I'll finish this tea. I'm gonna wait till everyone leaves.
Yeah. She looks at you expectantly.
Yeah, it's one of those like movie moments where it's very dark and the light is only here. It's like
it's like just across the eyes.
Yeah. And he's like, having been in the castle, what do you know about the Queen of and Atikusu?
She pushes up her under-rimmed glasses. She says, Atikusu, that old trickster.
Just the one?
He is a meddler. I know that he seeks to cultivate power in many possible locations, tending his fields carefully. Where one crop bears fruit, he rejoices. And where another crop lies barren, he simply tills up the soil and turns it over.
Yes, well, apparently that's his plan, or at least my queen's plan. She and some of the other counselors within the castle believe that when the sun is gone, that is when the real fun begins.
It sounds as if the Queen of Ur is more in line with Quintara, though perhaps not in the specific mechanisms.
It didn't sound like they were trying to resurrect anything to me. Sounded like they specifically wanted the sun gone.
You're an Ur man yourself, are you not?
Yes, which is why this is between us and not them.
I understand. I also, having lived in the palace courts for many years, understand the need for discretion. How loyal are you to your kingdom, to your queen?
Well, as loyal as I can be, but loyalties change.
Would you accept the survival of Ur at the expense of the death of the rest of the world?
Well, depends on what parts.
She laughs. She says, well, that is relatable. There is a common affliction amongst some of the nobility of various states. It is one that fosters a natural hatred of the sun and the daylight. Tell me, have you ever seen your queen wear silver?
Can't say that I've seen her wear much jewelry.
I'm afraid I am not particularly familiar with her. That was always Astaphan's prerogative, but it seems as though there are other solutions at play that may or may not find success. I know that the queen departed before my erection of this dome. It could be that somewhere out there, other plans are also proceeding.
And if these other plans are related to other gods or deities, specifically ones that do not require the sun, what do we do then?
She shakes her head and shrugs and says, at the moment, I think there are more pressing concerns. Every time we die, the world resets. Nothing can truly change for as long as this spell takes hold. Whatever is happening in the world outside is for us to concern ourselves with after we have resolved our current circumstances. But it may be that the world beyond the city of Ire has need of heroes such as yourselves.
Yeah, Sarek sips his tea and places it next to the turned over teapot.
Yeah.
And doesn't acknowledge, whether he's going to help or not, and is just like, thank you, and just pieces out.
Yeah. You hear the sound of a teapot being set back on its feet.
Cool.
Well, cool. It is 15 to the hour, so I think it's probably wise for us to do our outros.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to this lore-filled, roll-less episode. Thrilled.
Oh my god, we really didn't roll at all.
Not a single roll.
Zero dice.
I mean, this is the recap episode, though.
We got so many good notes, guys. I took so many notes.
Holy majoli.
Amazing.
We've recapped everything.
Recap
Like if you know how people always say, I want to get into Sunfall Cycle, I don't know where to start. I think this might be the episode.
Yeah, this
might
is
be
a
like
good one.
a great episode to be like, if you don't want to watch the build up to like the major action, then watch this. It summarizes a bunch of stuff.
Either way, I think I need to do an episode with you, Steven, anyway. It's just like, let's go through it from moment one to
I was going to say, maybe it'd be good to have a recap, like,
episode, director's commentary,
like an extra hour or something, to just be like, okay, where do we start? Where are we now?
Someone hit me up with that. Like, they were like, yeah, they're like, I want to be into it, but I don't want to watch 50 episodes. And I was
That's
like, yo,
fair.
All right, yeah.
Let's do we should just like schedule a recap episode sometime.
You know what would be really cute? If it was like written as though it was Tharek's journal.
Oh yeah.
Because that would be like really succinct and it would describe all the way through.
Sure.
And it would present Sarek as the hero.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be terrible. That's a terrible idea. People would be like, Jesse, wow, I didn't know you were carrying all those people. And I'd be like, after I mounted in Carter several times and murdered everything, I then proceeded to, like, people would be like, holy shit.
The other idea I had was a little bit sadder because I was like, the other cool thing would be like all of us sitting around reminiscing with, Armoros dog. And being like, we've seen some shit, haven't we? Like how they have those recap episodes and shows and like recapping, like, I remember when we first came here and you thought I was trying to have a threesome, and then we just like go through and remember, like, and just talk to him and like remember everything. Because I like
that episode 1. Again, let's all remind ourselves. Episode 1 started with Steven being like, guys, I want this to be like a safe place. We're gonna have code words. And we're going to try and, like, make this something that we can really, like, everyone, it's going to be, not wild and crazy. And by the end of episode 1, it's like, you two trying to fuck? Is this like a threesome? Just put it out there. That's what happened episode 1. And it was beautiful. It was
rewatching
beautiful.
Episode 1. And what's so weird is that, like, at first, Aya started out as, like, she's a little bit of a trickster. She kind of puts the whammy on people, And at first I tried to maintain that. Like, there's like almost like an elegance or a grace, where she's like, yes, I'll handle this. But then like how quickly it just turned out like, this is bullshit, and like she turns it on sometimes. But like Aya in episode 1 would have been like, Iraman, I have many questions for you.
Yeah.
And now like Aya's like, nah, I don't got time for that. Kick over the teapot, bitch.
There's actually
done fucked up.
There's actually a really funny moment. I went back and watched it because I don't know what episode it is, but I think it's the 3rd or 4th time that we die. And all of our characters are over it. Like, no one, like, we go to saloon, it's so funny. We go to saloon, like, all right, what is it? Like, we go, and from that point on, we're like, nah, fuck it. Like, it officially became that moment where we're like, no, we're not playing these games no more. It's hilarious because before that point, we're all one way, and then we die like a certain amount of times. We're just like, enough of this bullshit. It's hilarious. Y'all, it's so funny.
It's universally true that like nobody knows who their character is until a certain number of sessions, and then you find the character within the stats and the concepts and whatever, and you start playing that, and it's always awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing. You guys are great. If you ever want to play a B RPG, you let me know. I'm in. Yeah. All right. Let's go around this screen here. Find out what everyone's up to. Britt, you are doing what this week?
I'm packing this week because I'm moving in 2 weeks.
Yay! Hey.
So I'm mostly packing and working on my Animal Crossing island. And I don't know, probably working on helping with this recap episode we want to do. I happen to be a producer, and I happen to not have a job right now, so I can help with that. So I think maybe I'll be helping with that.
I would love it if we could get the dude who made the maps to like
Chris.
If we get the map files, and then like find an animator to be like to have like the Indiana Jones style of like it shows like the things of where we go.
Yeah,
I think that'd be incredible.
That's such a good idea.
This requires so much work. We'll start
working on this.
We're gonna be on like episode 70 when this thing finally comes out.
I know, it's fine, but we're gonna start working on it now. It'll be worth it. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing. Thanks everybody for hanging out. This is like my favorite part of the week. So it's so much fun.
Yeah, it's nice to wake up and see some like great people, and then like just have a fun little like sesh.
It's like our own little golden bubble.
Yeah.
We sit in our golden bubble and we're like, man, people suck, but the people inside this bubble are pretty cool.
True. I'd be willing to save the people inside this bubble at the expense of all the people outside of it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's so sweet. It's not a little psychotic.
I mean, it's a little scary, but it's also really
That's what bonds us all. We're all really sweet and a little bit scary.
Yeah, you're like gonna swallow us whole.
I'd swallow the world for y'all.
Yeah.
I'd engorge on the planet and all of its people for y'all. I would.
Thanks, Jesse DeHaka.
I would. Yeah, I'd darken the skies for every last one of you.
I'm just imagining a DeHaka with the face of Jesse now.
Hey, y'all.
No,
Guess who's getting eaten?
With a million centipede arms and maces and
yeah,
shit.
his like face is upside down, and he's like a snake person.
So it's literally just that Avatar: The Last Airbender monster that's like, look at me, Aang. And that one like.
Oh, that
thing.
one was so good.
Yes, I'm basically that. I'm trying to get you to look at me, and he's like, I won't show emotions. Yeah. Steven, what's going on with you?
Oh man, not much. We had a nice long 4-day weekend here in the Netherlands. Tuesday was National Holiday. I think it was Remembrance Day or Memorial Day, some like a commemorating of the end of World War II. And so most everyone took off Monday as well. So.
I think this is when I was there, when we hung out 2 years ago and plotted this nonsense. I think it was this day. Yes.
It might have been.
Or this weekend. Because I remember I was there during this time, and everyone was like, how'd you enjoy it? And I was like, I don't know. I was not on this planet anymore.
Blasted.
I was not in reality. But it was a great time. Lovely city.
You were eating God Soul in Amsterdam.
Yeah, God Soul turned out to be a brownie sold by like some dude down the street from where I was staying. But yeah, it was great.
I love that that's how this show came to fruition.
Yeah,
at an Italian restaurant in Amsterdam. That's right. And we were like, good. What if we did this? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's that. Yeah. I don't really have anything major going on. I think this coming weekend is not a Scum and Villainy weekend because we just had it last weekend. I think all of those episodes are up on Actual Plays YouTube. So if you just Google YouTube search for Actual Play Scum and Villainy. I think there's one they did earlier, and then there's one that I'm a part of that Strash is also GMing. So those are super cool. You should definitely check them out. There's some really cool stuff that's been happening in that show. And that's it. Forge of the Marches is still going on in the background, but it's slow because, like, dang, y'all, like, quarantine life sucks. It's hard.
Yeah. My sympathies.
Yep.
But
we do what we can.
Yeah, but you got like you're living in a great place. You got a great lady. You got plants in the background. You got drinks in your hands. You're doing all right.
I got Cloud up here on the shelf.
Oh,
he's watching me, kind of like an elf.
Cloud on a shelf?
He's going to report back to Sephiroth what I've done.
I'm more interested in a Tifa on a Mifa, if you know what I'm saying. Hey!
Oh my god.
It's so stupid.
You know a joke is done when the reaction you get from Bronze is like
well, I'm thinking of like Mifa from Breath of the Wild, and I was like,
yeah. I mean that tracks.
I love
Bronze,
that face, Bronze.
Bronze, what's going on with you this week?
Same old. Life of crime. I'm streaming. We're up to episode 4 of my new campaign on D&D Beyond. Didn't realize how much inspiration I take from Monster Hunter, except I really take a lot of inspiration from Monster Hunter and Princess Mononoke. So imagine those two things mashed up, and that's what I've been doing. Pretty excited about it. I've got a new Ironsworn co-op campaign I'm doing with a very good friend of mine that's inspired by Blackadder. I think I talked about that last week. That's coming hopefully next week if we can get all our ducks in a row. And other than that, yeah, I've been streaming, and I'm around. I sometimes post funny things on Twitter that I feel like they should probably get more attention than they do. So if you really want to give me a warm fuzzy, like some of the stupid shit I edit. Yesterday's was great. I made a great joke about Elon Musk's kid. I thought I'm gonna retweet it. Fuck it.
All the jokes are
great. I'm gonna retweet my own joke because I think
you are funny.
Great.
You should retweet it.
Always retweet your own jokes.
Because if I went back to Key and Peele's most iconic skit, the East West Bowl, and I feel like that should have been where everyone went with the Musk child. I also refer to the child as the Musk child.
That kid. You know what? Even rich people can be beat up in school. Like that's just it's gonna happen. I feel for that
equalizer.
Kid. I feel for that kid. Does not deserve it. Did not choose this name. That kid is.
I think it's become trendy. Remember when Gwyneth Paltrow was like, "My child's name is Apple." I'm like, "Bitch, You're gonna name your kid Apple?
Michael Jackson named his kid Blanket. I'm just putting it out there. I think
we've got Moon Unit Zappa, and who else was Frank Zappa's other child? Moon Unit and
Moon Unit is a great fucking name. I stand corrected.
Yeah, Moon Unit
is a great name.
Moon Unit.
Blanket uninspired. Apple boy. Moon Unit.
Blanket is like you look around the hospital when the baby's born. You're like, Blanket.
Well, there's Dweezil. Everyone knows Dweezil.
Yeah, Moon Unit, Dweezil, Ahmet, and Diva.
Great. Those are all great names. None of those are bad names.
Oh, those are like all character classes.
Yeah, those are bad. Moon Unit is such a good. Look, if I ever have a child, I need to aspire to a name like Moon Unit. Moon Unit is great. Oh my god. Okay. Kairos. Eric. What's happening with you?
Imagine being named Eric when you could be named Moon Unit. I mean, we still love you, but.
I mean, I am named after the prince from The Little Mermaid, so I think I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Wait, are you really?
Yeah, for real.
No, wait, time out. Yeah. When were you born?
Really?
Wait, really?
I was born in 90, but yeah, for real. My sister
it checks out. Shit checks
Your
out.
Sister
I have an older sister, and
That's so cute.
I was going to be named Jordan, and she was like, fuck no.
It checks out.
Wait,
yeah,
so we should call you Prince Eric.
I'm just calling you Prince from now on.
You're like a Disney
I am nobility,
prince.
so I guess
that's
that's fine.
Cute. That's so cute, though.
That's the only flex I have. That's it. I'm out of flexes.
You kind of look like him too. Now that I'm seeing it.
Yeah.
I have the hair.
You need to put on one of those white puffy shirts.
Yeah, do that right now.
Puffy shirt. Okay. No. Yeah. So not too much. Just like y'all. I had a game have to wrap up because of Total Party Kill. Just happens. I was playing Electric Bastion Land with some people off stream, like my old friends from Philadelphia, and so now we're starting Stars Without Number. It's not that bad of a deal.
Cool.
So we're playing in space now. We just made our characters and stuff yesterday. I've been super obsessed with a 4X game called Old World. Just came out. It's by Soren Johnson, who's the guy who made Civ 4 and Off-World Trading Company.
I've seen this. It looks so cool. Is it good?
Oh yeah. If I love like the Civ games, like the 4X stuff, and Old World seems to have it in spades. It's just like all the best parts of Civ, but just also fixes some of the problems with it, like how turns take centuries because you have every single action to move. This game has what's called like an order system where you can never move everybody. You have a limited number of actions to do a turn, so you have to like figure it out.
And you can have kids, and those kids can take
and it has a bunch of Crusader Kings elements in it, where like you're doing events for who you're going to marry, managing your internal politics. Like you have like 4 major families you're trying to manage who run their different cities. It's fun. It's really cool. I think it's the right Civ game for me. So I've been obsessed with that. I know you like Civ, Jesse.
I do. No, I was having a conversation with someone literally yesterday about this game, and I went to go to the Epic Store, I think is what it's on, and I saw it was early access, and I was like, well, how early? What does it mean? They're like, you can play full games, it just doesn't have every faction in it. And I was like, all right, I'll check it out. So I downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet.
Yeah. I've had my eye on it too, but I've been in turn-based tactics heaven.
Chimera Squad or what?
Chimera Squad and Gears. The Gears tactics doesn't suck. So now I'm like, well, great. There goes 3 weeks of my life. Yeah, it's actually kind of cool. There's some things I would change being an XCOM fan.
Yeah,
it's actually kind of cool.
The skill trees of that game has a little bit too much of like whatever that one Diablo game is. The one with the
Path of Exile?
Yeah, it's a little too Path of Exile-y for me. There's a
lot of options.
Like I'm just gonna pick the stuff that sounds like that gives me critical hits or something. I don't know. Like I'm looking at it, like it just seems like so many options for everything. It's fun. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's it for us. I'm not a big like advertiser because I always want to promote my friendos, but I will say that if you like Star Wars and you are a big giant Star Wars nerd, the Star Wars RPG that I do that is Thursday nights, that has Anna Prosser and Bike Man and Pocket and Strippin', those sweet people, tomorrow's the episode to watch, y'all. They somehow found themselves, I gave them every warning not to. I was like, avoid the Arcana system. They just went there anyway. And it just happens to be where all of these like dark side inquisitors are, and they landed on the planet, and they're in a hallway, and the last episode ended literally like the end of Rogue One. So good luck to them on their rolls tomorrow night. I want them all to know they're going up against the 12th brother, the like one of the most badass motherfuckers on the planet. So I can't wait to see if any of them even live. This could be a total wipe. Who knows what's gonna happen? May the dice be in their favor. I'm so excited to watch them all die. So that's that, and that's it for us. Thank you all so much. We will see y'all next week. You're incredible. The 4 of you are almost as good as the people watching, but not quite, because they have to put up with all of us. So yeah, but we will see you then. Thank you for watching, and I'm gonna close us out with the best song in the world. Bye, everybody. Hold on.
You know, where's the payoff? Bring the strippers and booze! We do occasionally talk about video games. Bring the strippers and booze! Not enough time for video games. Bring the strippers and booze!
Oh, thank God, I don't need pants now.
Hey, JC, what are you doing? Not much. Making a fortune.
It's a production of broadcast. Yeah, now sing music. It's a production of broadcast.
Bring the strippers and booze!
It's a production of broadcast.
I'm here to ask and answer one simple question.
It's a production of broadcast.
You